Welcome everyone to another weekend of Clash Royale League Asia. My name is Joe Sophie. Joined with me, as always, is going to be G Cliff on the seat, and we're going to be on our last week, finally, of our conference division before we get to the playoffs, which will have a one-day weekend compared to three, like we have been forever now. I mean, it's been 8 weeks of great action, and we're going to have our 8th week finally to conclude out and see who the best region is right now.
Yep, and it is going to be between Japan and Southeast Asia. Korea had their last weekend to play, so they will be sitting in their place right now. So depending on the result of this weekend, few teams may go up, few teams may not go up. Of course, Kings and Dragon X already securing their spot in the first place from Korea. We'll see who comes on top this weekend from Japan and Southeast Asia.
And Kingzone at first place with Sandbox at second. They're going to go to the wildcards, and we're going to get a first and second out of each regionals this weekend, because it will be Japan versus Southeast Asia, as you mentioned, and that will decide who the top team in Japan is and who the second place in Japan is. Also the same for Southeast Asia, and we'll get an indication of what we're going to be seeing once the playoffs does begin.
Yeah, we'll get to explain a little bit more with the overview how this works. It's kind of like, if you follow baseball, it's kind of like baseball after the postseason. You have to beat its team to go up all the way to the finals. As the last weekend of conference division, scroll down all the way to postseason. First place from each region, and we'll go straight to the postseason. But we have the wild card match. I think a lot of the teams really deserve to be there for now.
It really is. You have to work really hard for that all season long, and even if you were considered even the second best team out of your region for the 7 weeks, I mean, if your 8 weeks really falters, you're going to drop down to third, and you definitely will not be in the wild cards anymore. And this is what it looks like once we get to the overview of wild card winners, and that will be the playoffs tournament. This is how it goes, because it will be first, second, and third, fourth, with the first and fourth place going to be fighting against each other, with second and third fighting it out the middle class, and between them, the winners will eventually become the wildcard winner, and they will be the fourth team to join in with the rest of the top one placement teams out of Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia. So, you know, along with these three teams, this wildcard winner that will be compiled out of the four, they will join us for the playoffs for the weekend right after.
And the one you just saw, WC winner, goes against the third place, which is the first place from a region. We don't know exactly for now how it's going to be. We have to wait until Sunday after all the results of the pennant race for the last day, and then see who the third place is. Then, of course, going up and up all the way to the finals to decide the champion team. Who that's going to be. You do see the schedule and where it's going to be held as well. So if you are around the country, you can always go for the offline venue as well.
Taiwan for the semi-playoffs, and playoffs in Korea, and the finals will be also in Korea as well. So OGN will be hosting that in their venue. And like I said, it's kind of hard to know until this weekend ends. And for now, Japan has already secured first place overall. So they're going to be waiting in the finals. That's going to be no question about that. It's whether Korea or Southeast Asia will be holding that second place, waiting in the playoffs instead of waiting for the semi-playoffs. We're going to get an indication if Southeast Asia suddenly just steps up really crazy like, and they will change the standings, and that's what we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, we do have the two teams securing their spot already, but look at the first page. 2 Japanese teams right on top, but 4 Korean teams, which means we're going to see very soon of the Southeast Asian teams, but they have to climb a lot if they want to at least have 2 or more teams in the wildcard tournament.
And that's what you're looking at. I mean, Sandbox has 7 and 4, but just falling behind in terms of total points.
Oh, yes.
That's what you're going to be looking behind Kings and Dragon X to go into the wildcard instead of the playoffs directly. And the semi-playoffs, that will be indicated by whether Southeast Asia has basically just wins all the games from this weekend, and maybe they'll have a chance. But it's still 4 and 5 for the best team right now, and that's going to make it tougher and tougher, as we're probably going to get an indication that Southeast Asia will probably be the third place region out of the 3.
Yep, when we talk about the first place team from each region, but also FAV Gaming, lots of teams tied with 4 and 5. There are lots of teams still playing this weekend, so we'll just have to see and wait until all the way to the last, maybe to the final match.
Right.
We might actually not know who will exactly which team will go be on the tournament, wildcard tournament, or even for Ponos and GameWith, they're still standing on the top, but it seems like they have to take all the wins too.
And there you go. We're going to get a schedule for today. Brand Esports going up against GameWith, and AHQ is going to be going up against Pono Sport, the second seeded team in the tournament. Kick's going to be going up against FAV Gaming, but for the time being, all the Southeast Asian teams are at the bottom of the standings, with Japanese teams way up at the top end. Other than FAV Gaming, GameWith and Pono Sport, they are the best teams in the tournament right now. None of the Korean teams have outed them in a way that really proves that they're better. But Game with Opponent Sport. We're going to get the best of Japan in today's match with match 1 and 2 and see what they make up with.
Each team will get to play 2 matches this weekend, so maximum of 2 wins for your team. That's totally possible for any team. And take a look, Brand Esports game with stronger teams from each region, I would say. AHQ versus Ponos as well. So we have some crazy exciting matchups to start off match 1 and 2. And also Kicks versus Bob Gaming. So very strong teams from each region just going against each other, bumping into head-to-head day number 1.
Of course, not looking as strong as the first few weeks, but Brand Esports still is considered the top team in Southeast Asia. There's no question about that. AHQ and Brand Esports, they're compiling of their status as the top of Southeast Asia, but they're going to be going up against the top of Japan with Game with and Opponent Sport respectively. And it's going to be interesting, G-Cliff, and just to see how much Southeast Asia has evolved, because last week they looked pretty weak as they literally could not win a single game, and just almost very close to it. And Korea looking very good as they just move on.
It's a very competitive format where you have to fight against your own region team at the same time and the teams from the other region. And that's why you have to think of a lot of there's various factors into it. And because Game would start sending on top with 7-2, because they won against Opponent Sport head-to-head, if they are able to grab that 1 win tonight, they will secure their first place for Japan. So have a lot of responsibility going to match number 1 for them.
Really does, and that just means that Game with, if they can get a first win right now against Brand Esports, that'd be huge for them, and that will secure them in the top of the top standing in terms of seeding wise, and they will go to the final. Just wait in that throne and wait to be taken down, obviously, by the challenger, whoever that may be. But it will be coming after many weeks of play, and Game with can just casually practice along, make sure they're ready for whoever their opponents may be. But they're still looking like the strongest team right now.
There's lots of teams with 4 wins and 5 losses, so it's totally possible to go with above with 6, and that will just top OPGG, which will put the team in the wildcard tournament. And lots of number differences we'll get to explain a little bit more depending on how the team will work, because of course you guys are cheering for specific teams. Lots of the cases will explain how the number works, if this team has a chance or they do not have a chance, or what are they trying to do here.
But we'll get a better idea once the games start to advance and we get the results out. And to game after game, we'll get a lot closer to knowing who the top teams of Southeast Asia are going to be going to the playoffs, and also the wild cards will be in play as well. But we keep talking about this. The first game now, Brand Esports versus Game with. It's basically the top of the top from each of their regions. And Brand Esports, they were once the best in Southeast Asia, but now starting to get shaken and maybe questionable as to are they the best in Southeast Asia, with AHQ rising up to the occasion. And these guys have been falling shakily in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, even having Chief Clan to come in because they were shaken by the other teams, especially the Japanese teams when they were at Southeast Asia. Now they're away in Japan right now, and Japan will be at home playing for themselves, and it's going to be Game with first from the entire region.
This is their home ground that they're playing with. Amaterasu, Yuihiro, KK, and Shun. They're going to be making up the roster for today's Game with, and seems like KK is going to be coming out along with Shun, and Amaterasu is going to be in play as well. Shun got a little haircut. Very cute of him. Very nicely done. And you know, he's been a performer for all season long, and he's just expected to do the same once again. And like I said, just winning 1 game now against Brand Esports, they don't have to worry about the other game, because they'll be heading right to the finals, with Ponos going to have to fight all the way through the wild cards in order to get to where a game was going to be.
Ooh, it is going to be Jai versus Amaterasu. The difference between the teams, I would say, it's Game with, they have a lot of 1v1 players who are pretty decent, as well as 2v2. And on the other side, Brand Esports, they have been having lots of problems trying to gather their roster, who's going to be the dedicated 1v1 or who's going to be the 2v2 player even. And that's why Chief Clan kind of came in, kicked in as a 1v1 sometimes, helped out with a 2v2 as well. So now they have the secured roster, but I feel like it was a little bit too late of an adjustment for the team.
And I feel like Jai has been kind of that long-forgotten phase in that 1v1, because Brand Esports has relied on him to get out the wins, especially in the first few weeks when they were really good as a team. But you know, ever since Jai stepped down, and other players have been experimental with in determining are they good enough options as a secondary 1v1 player. But you know, through that experimentation, you just lost too many games if you're Brand Esports. And now you're setting up Jai, the former kind of the legend of what we see from Brand Esports. Now the band's coming in, the Golem versus Giant here.
Golem and Giant. And wow, they just say no beatdown today. As let's just play casual, lots of cheap cycles. Let's see who's better. whose fingers are faster, quicker to respond to whatever happens, like the barrel, the miner, all the defensive move that you have to make crisp at predicting where it's going to be, when it's going to come, reading the cycle. It's going to be lots of skills dedicated here, as the beatdown is just almost totally gone, except for the P.E.K.K.A, I would say.
And you're looking at here, Jai is already composing his stick, along with Noim-san and the coaching staff helping out. Materatsu doing the same thing with Shun on the lineup, and also his coach helping out with the composition there.
Oh,
And
that's a cool Clash Royale clipboard.
there you go. I mean,
I
you
would
could
like
ask
to
for, you
have
could
one.
ask for one of those. Say now. I mean, your chances are all and over with.
I want the blue one though.
There you go. I mean, you wanted that beanie, you still didn't get it. So you know, there's still lots of ways to coming through.
I'm not really a beanie
Oh,
person.
you're not? Okay.
Weren't you the one asking for the beanie?
We asked for something that would have that one crown in the front and
Oh,
two
yes.
crowns in the back. So it
And
would
then
be
three in oh, if you flip it upside.
Yeah, then it becomes the three
Inside out.
crown.
Yes.
Everybody loves the three crown. And especially with the new challenge that came in, it's absolutely crazy. Talk about that elixir pump.
Oh man,
Challenge
let's not get there. Let's
Oh,
not
man.
get there. The game is insanely hard.
Triple elixir. I mean, triple elixir is just absolutely just insane. I don't think I would have been ready to play that.
I lost a second of my Wi-Fi and then
Ooh.
Boom.
1 second. That was a trick when you have triple the elixir count. And if you guys haven't played that challenge, be sure to go right now. The event is on. And
it just went online. I mean,
yeah,
it was,
did
it
go
was there
about
for
a couple
long
of
time.
hours ago,
Uh-huh.
and it's been very entertaining. And just another way to get extra gold. I'm sure you guys all need gold for that sweet upgrade. I know if you want to spend that 40,000 on a legendary card, that you can do that as well, but not very recommended for Meyer.
Yeah, and it's been some time. It's been almost 3 weeks, I would say, after the patch. And
Yeah.
let's see if until the very last final, maybe there will be a small patch in the balance update.
Yeah.
Maybe that will affect a little bit, but right now the Rascals are just so strong. The balance update is not really affecting too much, I would say, in terms of the big scale meta. Small changes because of that, but Rascals just so strong. We still see lots of barrels. Because of that, I believe we will just see similar things. And Valkyrie also making appearance in a lot of decks right now.
I mean, Valkyrie and Mega Knight just makes Rascals a little bit weaker. I mean, with defensive use, you can use that to make sure you get a clear wave, just a quick wave to just get out of there. And that's possible, but still, Rascal haven't been touched ever since the release, and still looking just as strong as you say, G-Club, and we probably will see it used in many of the 1v1 to 2v2 occasions as well.
Oh yes, we saw lots of those cards. Even Wizard with the Tornado was totally possible in 2v2. We saw that last weekend, even just once, not too many times. Maybe that's something else that they need to bring to win, to make that change in that 2v2. As 1v1, of course, very important, but 2v2, you gotta win that to continue.
There we go. I think the players will be ready. Materatsu waiting to go up against Jai, and Bren Esports the game with, and basically the top of what we see from both regions of Japan and Southeast Asia. See what we can get done, because Jai, he has been the reliant force for Bren Esports for the first couple of weeks, and just hasn't been there. And for 1v1, and see if you can get it done against Amaterasu, who has been looking very strong on this 1v1 stage.
Oh yes, he has. His set score 1v1, 3-0. Certainly a strong player. Jai played a lot more, but 3-3, so he's tied up. Compare the percentage, Materatsu stands in favor.
Here we go. Basically, after the first few weeks, Jai gets his
There's
first
the barrel.
appearance in a long time, and it doesn't have the real cycle, and the rotation's really rough for Jai to begin us all, because all he had was an Ice Golem and a Musketeer.
Oh.
Now gets Fireballed, and man, that's maximum elixir trade already for Materatsu.
He does have the Rascal right in his hand, so he was ready for his own defense as well.
Okay, the poison has to be used to 4 elixirs just to get out, but the defensive duties were done already, and Materatsu's going to be feeling already very good about that Rascal trade.
About even after the poison damage. Now the Goblin Hut just coming slowly.
In the end, the Miner got more damage than what we saw out of the Goblin Barrel, getting it down to 1774 on the side of Materatsu's tower.
Kind of weird how Miner does different damages to unit. Oh, the mirror card. Amaterasu into the bait. So he's potentially looking in for a bait and bait right after with the barrel again.
Okay, we're seeing the very aggressive use of that Miner, but the Valkyrie is right there to get that defensive spot on it. Poison being used on the mirrored Goblin Hut, so level 10 Spear Goblins will be no longer a thing.
do want to make sure bring down the healthier one.
Okay, the long is there, so we thought maybe Jai would not have the long, but he was just saving it for the Goblin Barrel. Very selective there.
Oftentimes, you do see the Rascals split because the girls behind will both die together to lots of spells.
Yeah.
You do just want to split just to get some more damage to the other side. It's potential. It's possible to attack both lanes at the same time.
And this is a fresh new meta, isn't it? You know, talking about the chip damage, that definitely wasn't there. Musketeer, out of anything, hasn't been used that much. And we're looking at it now, and Jai has been utilizing this very well. And he's going to get the cannon card to start us off. And how far will this get?
Not just by itself, though. It's got to have something else pushing along with it. Minion Horde, perfect defense.
Goodness.
And the barrel again.
Okay.
Jai caught.
Oh, that was very close. Yeah, that was a lot closer than we thought. If that had escaped that would have been a huge trade over to Matarazzo. See the miner once again.
I wasn't expecting a tornado because that's the third spell in the deck. But he does have 3 to take care of all the things.
Okay, we're going to see the Rascal go survive after that last 6 of poison. Didn't really affect. Now has to use a long to get out of there. So that's going to be vulnerable. Once that Goblin Barrel comes through once again, wonder when he'll use it. Matarazzo, he can use it now. Doesn't have anything for it. He's going to use a Tornado to unlock the King's Tower. And that's going to be the last spell that wasn't revealed until the very end. And that's going to be under a lot of trouble. Matarazzo is down to 530 as Jai looking still very, very safe with all the spells that he has available.
Yep, and 1400 plus the King Tower, so.
Okay, mirrored.
So much more advantage, I guess, going to Jai compared to Amaterasu. It is possible with double barrel to bring down thousands at a time, but Jai has the log secured every single time.
Yeah, Matarazzo is going to get that Tornado to maybe just wipe out the Rascal Girl, but it doesn't go down. It's at level 10. It's the calculation error. Has to summon now another Mega Minion just to get it out of there.
He sacrificed some of the damage from the Princess Tower to go directly to save up the elixirs for this poison here.
Okay, it's going to get down to 449. Will he use the mirror to get another set of Rascals out? Because that could be a possibility. 314. Doesn't have the Goblin. It has the log now, and take care of it for the minute. It's going to be 314 down to 677. Again, the mirrored. Okay, this is going to be the challenge here. Can we get it done? And it's still the Mega Minion gets all the job done. 58. And that's going to be it. Poison's going to be ending the game here. And Fireball for no use as Amaterasu gets beaten out of that chip damage trade as Jai gets the first win of the game.
That was close. I say Amaterasu also had a very good chance, and Jai just had a better use of poison early ones to bring down the units as well, because he was intentionally bringing down the miner all the way to the back so he can get the maximum value from that poison most of the time, and it's over time worked out.
And look at this now, timeout being called by GameWith, and after that loss, Amaterasu just needs a few more minutes. Just to make sure he's ready to go, and I just feel like he's going to compose a new deck that wasn't really thought of and expected wise. And Amaterasu, we talked about him having a really good record on 1v1 set-wise.
3-0 set score.
Now it's going to be 3-1. Amaterasu does suffer his first defeat of the season, and what is he going to do? Because Jai is looking very, very comfortable in how he won that game 1. And maybe the only surprise came through with that second set of Rascal that didn't go down with the Tornado. And that was the difference maker when we saw it. In the end, Jai getting the win.
Which he didn't connect with the log as well. I think he was just holding it for possibly a mirror barrel right after. Really considering his options, because he had the Musketeer at the time, just sacrificing some of the HP from the Princess Tower, which was, I guess, the right choice, because he was kind of losing the elixir trade as well.
Yeah.
So at the end, after the result, of course, we can say that that was the right call, but it was a dangerous one, certainly.
We can see that because Jai is going to fiddle around to make sure he's ready for this next game, but I'm sure he's going to be feeling comfortable and approaching this game too, because if he wins another one, that will be a set win over to Bren Esports, and GameWith, they will suffer one of their very few defeats if they do lose out this next one.
GameWith, they do have another chance if they lose this match. All they need is one match win the entire weekend, but maybe you don't want to bring these young players all the way to the final match where they can actually choke a lot more. It's totally possible. For as a coach, I wouldn't really put them all the way ahead. Make sure they grab this win and have an easy one right after.
You're right. We're going to see what happens. The timeout, the additional minute. In addition to the 1 minute that's given, it's all going to be over. And the two players must be ready to get into game 2 here. After Amaterasu did lose out to game 1, can he pull it right back? Or Jai will be able to just finish it off with a 2-0 finish? We're going to find out in a minute.
Lots of the Korean casters, they were actually saying it's totally possible for Southeast Asia to take it back from Japanese teams, and so far, just one game.
Good luck being thrown out by Amaterasu after losing that game 1, and Jai is going to be ready to take this one if he can. Goblin getting split up.
For a second, I thought that was Three Musketeers because it was all the way on the back.
Yeah, Three Musketeer initial summon G-Cliff. That's the new trend.
Yep. You don't want to wait for that minute mark at all.
So after 3 elixirs used on both sides, gotta take 1 hit from that guard, and
you can
cycle out the log.
Sorry to cut you off there.
It's fine. Just look at the miner now and see what he can do. The Valkyrie's going to be there on defense.
Amaterasu will be thinking of something else because after the Goblin Gang, maybe he thought, oh, is it going to be the barrel? Lots of goblins. But after the miners,
okay.
Expo suddenly. Oh, great fireball though.
Oh, the fire spirit actually was taken care of with that fireball.
So well, and the minions still survive going in.
Oh, very unlucky there for Amaterasu.
Down. Oh man, look at the damage. It's
Minion
insane.
Horde left alone does so much damage, and that you have an example of it right there.
Because the fire spirit just take the minion horde out so easily. When they're not doing damage to the fire spirits as well. So Amaterasu trying to just fireball, make sure the elixir collector does not get the full value.
We see elixir collector without the giant and the golem there. So what we're gonna see is obviously the Tesla just to help out. The Expo there, and the
but it was right after the fireball. So with this defense,
this is
going
to
not
be
very hard.
Good, and that's gonna be the down of the first tower. Amaterasu, after suffering that huge damage from that first horde of minions, the second one will knock the tower down, and Jai comfortably ahead now in this game.
2100 on his own tower.
Of
course, after the minute mark, it could just slide down, and Jai could totally lose this one for some reason, but Expo sliding into the other tower. That doesn't look too good for himself, but better position, better placement of the Tesla this time, so Minion Horde does get taken away.
Hey, just looking at fireball just to make sure it survives for the longest of time, but also elixir used just to protect that Expo, and now what does he have for defense? No defense about it here. He's just going straight for Expo and just scoring another damage, and the banner ram wasting so much of that time.
You just have to, because your Tesla is still there. You just have to get extra elixir every single time.
The miner's here.
Fireball will take down both.
Oh my.
And Jai, he knows already that he has secured the win for his team in this 1v1.
Wow, we thought that game would come up with a flare, but that minion horde just could not be stopped by Amaterasu. That unlucky fireball that came through that destroyed his fire spirits as well, and that would have killed off the 5 elixir minion horde. We knew that how that works, and the interaction really didn't work out. He had the right cards, but just couldn't make it into play.
That is the thing. When you have the elixir collector, oftentimes you draw out lots of the spells like the poison or the fireball, even sometimes rocket if you have one. And when the fireball is used against the minion horde, it's really hard unless you have something like arrows, which we actually do see a lot more in ladder and also grand challenge these days, because of the rascals just destroying everything. But in the hands of Amaterasu in this case, in game 2, he did not have the right spells, and it was tough for him. He couldn't really hold the fireball for the minion horde. You don't exactly know when it's going to come, but when you wait for such a long time, the elixir collector is going to get that value. So he was lost nowhere.
Basically, all he had was the fire spirit to make sure he used that as basically an extra spell to get rid of the mini horde. It works that way with that 2 elixir, but you just gotta use it so wisely because it can get destroyed spells.
Oh yeah.
But the fireball that came from the other side from Giant, we know what happened. And Expo was initially the target, but Jai got 1+1 there and looking very, very good as he wins out game 2 and gets a set for Brand Esports to start us off.
And they actually did. He did have a lot of chance. Fire Spirit. Even after that, down to 1,000 on his tower. Well, he was desperate with his Expo, but the worst option for his Expo was actually the Battle Ram, which charges straight into the Tesla or the Expo. Anything that charges straight in or like a Giant or the Golem, which is banned out. So he had lots of chance. He just thought, okay, with the Golem ban, Giant ban, maybe I can win this with the Expo. It is totally possible. But Battle Ram, lots of the charging units are in the meta right now. Expo is not the way.
It really is. When you have a charging unit like the Battle Ram just taking up all the damage from the Expo, you know you're going to be wasting a lot of time. You do have a time limit when how long that Expo can last on the field. And in the end, game 2 didn't work out for Amaterasu once again. And game 1 and game 2 now going over to Jai for Brandon Esports. Gets a set 1 victory. Now we're going to head on to 2v2.
It is the perfect conditional for this 2v2 for Brandon Esports. They are really confident with 2v2. And also, game win, they did use up their timeout as well in the 1v1, which you cannot use anymore, only once per match. Brandon Esports, I don't think they will even use it, because when they use the timeout, it will actually be in favor of game win, because they are the one losing.
And just despite that, we're going to get the ban card out in 2v2.
Legendary.
Only one legendary. Definitely the Lava Howl won't be there. The Rocket. This is a very interesting ban that kind of started its trend last week. We saw Southeast Asia versus Korea, and Korean teams use it against them, especially Sandbox. Are doing a very good job of using that. Make sure they have everything in charge, and the Rocket will not be there to destroy everything in sight. But
hey, Joel, you know what these two cards actually remind me of? The Expo. That goes straight through the air.
What do you say?
Because, of course, the Tornado.
Okay.
Tornado and Poison, they're already there, but Korean teams tried the Expo for 2v2, which failed.
Yeah.
And I believe one of the Japanese teams also used an Expo.
So the double Expo you're expecting here. Could be. Didn't think of that initially, but we do have all the beatdown decks basically free to go. If you don't have a Lava Hound, if you don't have a Rocket, it doesn't matter. I mean, the beatdown is still so good, and the Tornado and Poison.
True, yes.
And just all available, and you're just going to be fighting to see who gets the better out of it. Not the typical ban this time around, as we're kind of just swoozing through this 2v2 and gotta get these 2 bans.
I just wish we get a new card with 20 Elixir, build another Princess Tower in the middle.
You always have the freedom to talk to a superstar about it. You have all the freedom in the world.
I do like the balance. I love the game.
There you go. That's what you want to say. You and your G-Cliff comments right there.
Oh, yes. No Rocket, of course, which pairs very well with the Tornado as well. So, except for the Rocket, we do expect a lot. We even saw some crazy Graveyard Freeze combo, which destroyed Graveyard on top of Graveyard and the Freeze, which just destroyed the tower. Those skeletons, it seems very small, but when they're surrounded by the skeletons.
I mean, the Graveyard Freeze combo basically existed. It's existed for casual play years ago, and when the beginners use it, they still make it work. The 9 Elixir to make sure nothing destroys the summoners coming in from all the grave and just skeletons and just destroying left and right. And it's been used by the beginners and the casual players, but when the competitive players use it, we saw it last week, it still does a trick.
It depends. It really depends as well. If you have the Poison, I think it's debatable in this case because there's no Tornado. Tornado is not banned. There's higher chance that the opponent might not have the Poison for the Tornado because you can only put so many spells. You do have lots of spells up to like 6 or 7 for both players on the 2v2 oftentimes. But if they do not have something like the Poison, you do have to think of a lot of the damage.
That's what you get because you're trying to beat down deck and everything behind it, the Poison, Tornado, and everything. Even the Wizard looking so good with the Tornado now with the recent buff, and that's what you're going to get. And you got to have all these cards opened up. Definitely not going to see the beatdown deck as effective anymore, but still very well could see play.
So always remind yourself when there is a Tornado, be careful where you position the Miner, even the barrels. It will just activate the King.
Hog Rider as well.
Oh, yes. Which is totally in the meta, but not really used as well. Yeah.
I think it's more for ladder plays, just for ranked games, because when you get a level 11 Hog Rider, that's when you know you're going wrong. There we go. I think we're ready to see the game now. None of that. 11 Hog Riders, level 11 Hog Riders will not be existing in this game because we're going to get the tournament format. You're going to see Chiefland knowing size. They can extend their lead and finish out the series and get a clean win against Game with. But I think the top team right now in all the tournament, Clash Royale League Asia, with Gamewith, definitely will not allow that so easily.
It is the beatdown against the Skeletons and
Wow!
the Pekka.
My goodness, Pekka Skeleton? That's a tough one. How you gonna get past that?
Let's see the follow-up unit. Okay, Tornado is available, so Executioner. Great choice.
Yeah, so we expected the Tornado to come, just lines it up to make sure everything goes down literally, and Golem still taking the damage. It does explode, but outside the tower, so it's not going to get the initial explosion damage on it.
Which is not the best case. Explosion doesn't catch the Prince or anything, but not a bad defense.
Let's see Golem with a Dark Prince this time around and see what they can get out of it. The Elixir Wizard just here to slow things down.
Brand Esports right now down on their Elixir, has to use their spells as well, and the Fireball only destroyed the shield.
Yeah, so that was a little bit wrong time in terms of, they could have got much more value out of that, but the...
Ooh, getting the Tornado pull, not all the way
to the King's Tower, you see Noah inside, just hovering over his head, wondering what happened there, and that's going to losing the first tower end. Starting off the game right with with Shun and KK looking so good.
Oh, even down to 2.5 and down below 2,000 already onto the King Tower, and Shun and KK, they're still winning the Elixir trade, by the way.
Destroys that giant skeleton in base, so you know when you're going wrong when you have basically the giant skeleton exploding right in front of your tower, and on the King's Tower, that's definitely not what you wanted.
It all started when the Tornado was a little bit too far away from the Executioner.
Look at this though, 3 crown being wanted by Shun and KK. They're not going for the right side, they're going for it all here.
Oh, the Miner will not bring the tower down just by himself. Those shovels are not as strong as the rocks.
Okay, let's see this now. Infernal Dragon just taking care of the Pekka, and
this time on early enough, but the freeze to delay all the units.
Okay, gonna use the Tornado once again. See what they can get out of it. The Pekka eventually does go down. The Giant Skeleton now summoned up, and the Golem is still free to go, and he's gonna get past. The explosion damage coming from the Giant Skeleton, that will not affect the Golem whatsoever. That's gonna be the finish. I don't think they can defend for this.
Let's see, it seems like it's going to be very close. And right after, maybe they have some spells to just finish off. They still have 25 seconds.
Just the emergency, emergency drop from the Pekka, just barely gets it down in 476 without even dying out. And oh man, Shun and KK, they knew what's going on and they knew how to take care of this.
Brand Esports, they are panicking right now. They're overspending a lot of their elixir for the spell to bring down the Inferno Dragon.
Even the freeze, getting everything.
Just desperate to use everything right now, but Gamewith, just 1 crown, but that is enough to bring this for themselves to be the first game.
Great stuff, and KK and Shun basically flawless in the way they kind of rotated the Golem beatdown. That game just wonderfully played. We thought we might see it because without that poison and the Tornado, it becomes a free game now. You can just basically play anything you want to, and they're gonna get it. The Rocket Band was there for a reason. It was there to make sure that Golem beatdown deck worked out so well for game with that, right?
Yeah, Brand Esports, they had the Electric Wizard coming in very quickly with the cycle, but it was a little bit too late, only connecting with the Golem and the Prince, not really taking down the Inferno Dragon, which was just targeting down the Pekka and the Giant Skeleton as well. Not really connecting with the Executioner. The first defense where they had, not connecting too well, not getting the synergy with the Tornado. Seems like they need to have some teamwork done, as they were just throwing down the spells like they were playing with random player on the 2v2. That was not synchronized at all.
But look at this. Now, KK Shun, they've shown again that this duo can work out very, very well. And Matarasu unfortunately loses that 1v1 that he had in the first set, but second set looking now so good for a game with Shun and KK. That game 1 was literally just flawless. And I mean, they had all the right defense. Look at Brand Esports bringing out the Giant Skeleton, bringing out the Pekka. That's all you need to really just bring down entire rush with that Golem beatdown, but just couldn't execute. And eventually it became a cause of how they won out, but game with just very dominating wins once again.
Yes, it is one of the most common 2v2 decks we saw over and over again from Gamewith. The Golem beatdown with Double Prince, and should be ready. That should be on top of what you're expecting from the opponent. Did not work out certainly for Brand Esports, as they were losing in lots of spell trades.
Yeah, good stuff. And game with you're gonna have to wait 10 more seconds before another game begins, and I think they're gonna be looking for a quick finish and just a quick closeout of the set 2. See if KK and Shun can be just as dominating once again. So the timeout was called by Annoying Sign Chief Clan because
Uh-huh.
they felt like they definitely needed that after such a basically dominating defeat.
It is still totally possible for them to come back and finish the entire match. If they bring this one back though. Game with was pretty dominant. I do agree, Joel.
Yeah, and all smiles now for a game with us. KK and Shun, they're just right there, just waiting for this game to happen. I'm pretty excited. Brent Esports. Annoying Sign Chief Clan is going to be thinking of how to win out game 2 and maybe get into game 3. That's the first objective now, and we're going to see if they can get that done because game 2 now begins with set 2 on the dominating end from the side of Shun and KK.
No damage. They have the guards as well.
Okay, see
The
the
Mega Knight.
It's actually a perfect card for this type of play because
Even against the Golem, it's actually okay.
it is, and yeah, I think you're right.
Jump.
It's going to reach the Mega Knight. It's going to be fine for now. The poison being planted out for obviously the tombstone that came through, but the Mega Minion, how many hits in the end? 1 hit in the end. The Wizard trying to just stop out. The Prince, will it be stopped though? That was very close. The second Electro Wizard was needed there.
Oh, it does connect the damage now.
Okay.
Even with the poison, down to 11.
Oh my!
Vincent's going down.
It's down, and the last one will come through from Electro Wizard. Got a lot more hits than what we expected there. And we talked about that Prince. Will it connect to that tower because the Electro Wizard couldn't get to it in time. And positioning-wise, it could have been a little bit better, but now it has to be Shun and KK just going for it all here.
Oh yes, once your tower is getting stunned or iced or slow, you're not going to do as much damage for sure. And Luxury Wizard not being able to stop too much on that. Just managed to get the Infernal Dragon into poison, so that's good news.
Okay, but the Infernal Dragon, it resets. It's supposed to
Oh,
smart
the real
out.
push is coming with the balloon
Okay.
on the left. See the defense?
Oh, great stuff there. Just Tornado pulling it right back. And do they have anything for this Infernal Dragon? They do have the Electro Wizard ready to go, and Prince is going to take care of it. But that balloon strike does not work out, and it's only going to get an explosive damage. Other than that, it's going to be fine to go.
Even a Panic Miner, just to keep your tower alive, and even trade.
I mean, defensive miner, Brand Esports would not mind at all, just to make sure that Prince gets no damage onto it. And I'm going to see a left side all in here and see if they can get what they need. And
Because left side is little damage from the explosion as well. The balloon did not connect direct shot.
the drop will not come through, but the most important thing now is that this P.E.K.K.A. has to go down, and the freeze comes through once again. Electro Wizard behind. Oh my goodness.
Great tornado though. The Executioner
good.
doing big damage.
Oh, and we're going to see the Executioner get everything there, and there's no coming back. Going to get 20 seconds.
You
How
have
do
to
you
place the golem right on top of the bridge, like right now. Okay, double the Prince. They want to go for the charge. Brenny's should be ready though.
Mega Knight.
Mega Knight.
They just forgot about that. They forgot that this exists.
It's game over.
Really is, and 10 seconds, they're not going to get 12 damage onto their opponent tower, and that will be Brand Esports picking up the win in this game number 2 after getting a quick finish with that lucky Prince charge, and that's going to translate into a win. And Shun and KK now looking for game 3.
You do want to try your opponent a little bit, and that's a big risk. You may actually, if you just throw the Prince charging straight in, if there was a guard to defend, I mean, you would just lose the elixir trade, of course. But you do want to try, just in case the opponent does not have the best defense as a starting hand. It really worked out for Brand Esports. That was a risk that they took in game 2. Very risky play because they dropped game number 1, but respect to them for having that gut.
But definitely the bigger risk was, I think, was taken by Gatewith on that defense, trying to go against the Prince. They thought the Electro Wizard would just reach the Prince in time, but it got a couple of pokes before it went down. So instead of summoning extra units onto the map, and it just thought that that one Electro Wizard would do the job, but they were definitely horribly wrong there, as so much damage was done to them, basically wiping out the first tower in the first rush.
Maybe they had some small units as well, but there was the poison, which could have just got all the kills out to the small units like the guards. The shield will just blow out and they will go down instantly. Or just a few seconds on that poison, so maybe not really worth putting them down.
Look at where we are now. We are with Brand Esports on match point. If they win this next one, they take this whole entire series and really upsets Game with in this first match here. But this series has been looking pretty good for a game with just for one game. But other than that, Brand Esports has been looking very, very nice. And if they can take this game 3 of this 2v2, they will win.
And they will be the first place in Southeast Asia for the time being. AHQ is tied right now. It's going right after this match.
We knew we were talking about game with if they won one game, that would be on the top of Japan. And they would be heading straight to finals. They don't have to worry about anything else, man.
They can experiment all they want in the final match.
Yeah.
And that's something you actually need going for that playoff. You need some secret cards.
It is a huge advantage for game with if they didn't have to play any more games until the finals. And would have been very good, but what are we going to get? Are we going to get game with maybe choked down in this place here? But Miner taking me summoned and trying to see if they can get the game win here.
Let's charge onto the Dark Prince as well. So no real damage connecting other than the poison for most of the time, both sides.
Okay, we're going to see the Prince now. Trying to counter out. No True Wizard is there for the Infernal Dragon, but keep seeing the Infernal Dragon summon, but no big units so far from Brand Esports.
That's the response you need against the Prince. The small units, shield will do a great amount of job against this single target burst damage.
Okay, let's see the Dark Prince trying to charge in, but the Executioner.
Mega Knight once again. But let's have the lock from the Inferno, so did quite a lot of damage.
Okay, do we have another Infernal Dragon? That's the big question here, but without that.
Yes, they do have two, but maybe not in the hand right now.
Mega Minion will be good enough to take care of that. Double Miner just trying to harass them from range, and all those units going to be melted down by that poison. Great value there as the zap comes through.
Tornado, but activates the King Tower, but the Mega Minion does a decent amount of damage. So I think for game with you will actually be feeling okay.
You are, and we're gonna see how that works out. The P.E.K.K.A. now being summoned, basically the same deck from last game and game 2. You know who won on that one, and Brand Esports trying to do it again, but we're facing up against a little bit of a different deck here for game with.
Yeah, but they do have the time, and they do have poison as well. So all they need is a few more spells on that tower that will go down.
Oh, okay, look at that maximum value poison right there with the fireball. The freeze is going to come from the other end.
Executioner does go down. That's the big one.
Okay. Let's see it go through. The Prince can take care of the Tombstone, but the double Infernal Dragon are still into play with the Miner. Double Miner, as we were talking about, with the poison doing so much damage. And 69, 42. Just need one more spell to make sure they take care of that. That's going to be the zap.
Yes.
8 seconds. Miner coming up, double Miners now. They just have to stop this front push, and the Miners will not be able to take care of anything. The P.E.K.K.A. will not get there in time, and game with picks up the game 3 victory. Now we're going to go over to an ace match.
The real question every time we ask is, who is it going to be? Ooh, having some ceremony after that win. But I think they still need to wait for that 1v1 again, because they need to secure their win as well. Yeah. Of course, they are kind of safe for the wildcard tournament, but you do want to secure first place in Japan.
There you go. I mean, it's the difference between whether you come out next week for the wildcards and you have to make it through week after week just to make sure you get to the finals in the end. But just winning out one game now in this Brand Esports, you don't have to worry about the second game in this whole weekend. You can just start worrying about and practicing and getting ready for the finals in the end. But player selection, they're going to give 2 minutes for it. But I just imagine, Amaterasu, of course, he tried his best, but what's the best player out on the field today for game with it? Might see either KK or Shun be the representative, but we always like to see Shun as the player to step up when the team needs the most. And my God, I mean, his team needs the most right now because they're just looking for one more series win, and they're going to head straight into the finals.
By the win rate of 1v1, Amaterasu and both Shun does have 75%, 3 out of 4 win rate on their 1v1 score. Amaterasu did drop 0-2. If it was 1-2, I would consider maybe playing him again.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. I think it has to come down to the coach making that final decision. Shouldn't definitely possible. He was playing in that 2v2. But Yui Hiro is the only option who did not play today. He's going to be out in the bench.
And look at Jai. I mean, he has looked very good to really school out Amaterasu 2-0 there. And we thought that he did very well for the very first few weeks, and he's back out again to show the strength of that 1v1 game for Brand Esports has looked very good for the first few weeks, and Jai's back again to strike it. Did get that against Amaterasu to see if he can do it again in this ace match.
Tough decision for Brand Esports as well. Do we really want to bring Jai once again? And just keep that 1v1 momentum, because he did have 2-0 with the right bans to himself, I would say. But Chief Glenn, a new player in the team, with lack of data, he only played once on that 1v1.
But it didn't look very good in that debut that he had on that 1v1. Could have been a lot better.
He lost 1-2 against Tabong TV.
Not the best way to start off your 1v1 career. And Chief Glenn came in midway through the season and thought that he would be adding a power. Level 2. Very much the Brand Esports, who was struggling during that mid part of that season. But what we're going to get is that basically Brand Esports not really benefiting too much from Chief Glenn yet. But as time goes on, maybe this player can make a difference. But for the time being, we just don't see him as the primary player of this team of Brand Esports.
I think it's Shun from... because I saw his face, and it seemed like, oh man, I'm going up right now. Gotta be ready. See?
But that's always his expression.
See the awkward smile that he has right now?
What?
Like,
He always smiles like that.
really?
I feel like Shun always got the smiles
I think it's
on.
a little different tonight.
You
see?
think so?
He's a little bit concerned, right? Is it only me?
I don't know. I mean, well, it's got to be either just you or both of us, because we only got 2 people here. But no, maybe on our varying opinion, we're gonna find out.
We'll find out.
Ace match coming up very soon.
The tense music and the lighting.
Camera is on Jai and camera's on everybody.
Do they have to stand up at the same time?
Ah, there we go.
Oh, yes!
Everyone we expected. Jai and Shun just seems right. As Jai looked very good on that 1v1 as he beat out Amaterasu, but Shun, basically the best player in, I think, all of Japan. But some have argued that Mikibuya is gonna be up there as well. But Shun has been looking very, very good throughout the season. And he's back again. Once again to prove his force.
The power of Shun is that he's actually one of the Japanese players, very rare Japanese player to use the beatdown as well. And
in 1v1.
And he's really good at it, which is not really common from Japanese players. Lots of the barrel we see, lots of the chip downs, as well as the Korean players having lots of the super new meta decks with the Rascals.
I mean, just pinpoint positioning and meticulous timing and everything that Shun does. It seems inch perfect when things are done right. And there's something about him that separates him from all the different players we've seen throughout the season. But in this tournament, Shun has been looking very good. He has not really been shaken for any of basically the series that he has played against, and looks very good. And eventually won out most of the sets that he's playing, whether it be 1v1 or 2v2. He looks so good. And now Joe has to go up to and see what he can do.
The right choice against Shun.
I sense a golem deck from Shun. I sense a golem deck exactly because of that P.E.K.K.A coming through. I think the 3 Musketeer was not the most correct ban, as he could use it, but I think it's going to be the golem deck for game with it.
You do want to consider against any of the Japanese players, and because they use it so many times. And I think that's what Amaterasu was actually holding. He never really got to use that 10th card, even with the Elixir Collector, because he was losing so much. I think he had it as well, but just never got the chance to use it in that game. For Shun, he does have the extra information from the match one that Minion Horde may be a concern.
Yeah.
Could be a bait as well.
Yeah. And he just needs to prepare up the spells.
Arrows.
I think it's going to be poison more than arrows. I mean, arrows
totally possible.
Arrows are just... I feel like it's only meant, truly just meant for maybe Goblin Barrels coming through.
It's meant to activate the King Tower.
Oh, come on.
Which happens a lot.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. Because you play all the other spells so many times, you don't really expect that radius to hit the King Tower sometimes. Yeah. But it just happens.
It does happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen in this competitive stage.
Yeah, and look at those numbers. He is a superstar for the team. He played so many games. Team just having the trust in his 1v1 and 2v2 play.
We're going to look at Shun, the other side superstar. 7 wins and 4 losses. 2v2, 8 wins and 4 losses. Very, very good stuff.
Of course, if they win this match, they will go straight to the finals.
Like
because they're on top of the standings.
Yep.
Kingdom Dragon X, who secured their place from Korea's first place, is 7-4. And right now, Gamewin already has 7, so the first place team that has 8 wins And the first from Southeast Asia only has 4 wins, so they are far ahead of everyone else.
And even if Pono Sports does win 2 games and maybe game with wins 1 and loses 1, they will be same in terms of record line, but the overall score, the overall points gathered.
Yeah, head to head, because game with 1 versus Pono Sport the first weekend when they were going against each other in their own region.
I mean, that's the reason you're gonna see them in the finals regardless. But
yes.
If we do see game with Sean winning out this ace match, they will be heading straight to the finals. And
but there's still chance if they drop this one and the next match.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
could be
what's
close.
going to happen, Joel? I have no idea.
And that it just means that game with all the good work that they've done throughout the season, week 8 will falter, and they will start right from the wild cards and has to play so many more weeks of Clash Royale to try to get to the finals, where they could have gotten it just by winning 1 series out of the 2 from week 8.
It does happen, and life is not perfect. It is sometimes unfair in this case, but you do have to think about your strategy and your counter strategy.
I mean, we're going to look at Shun and see if he can do it. 5 more seconds before the deck competition is over. Coaching. And also, Amaterasu trying to help out, but Jai, I mean, he's had already a warm-up from that 1v1 looking very good against Amaterasu, but can he do it against Shun? I think it's just a different beast you have to overcome.
Even if they drop everything, Kings of Dragon X, they will tie 7-4, but they defeated Kings of the Dragon X even, so they will still go to the finals unless Pono Sports suddenly gets their 2 wins in this weekend. So they're basically going to the finals. They just need that 1 win tonight, or the other night, or the next night they need it over the weekend.
Any of the games, they just make sure you need to get a win. But you don't want to worry about the next game if you can just win it now and just get this over with. And Shun is gonna be the player to do it if he can.
That's the mindset that we need right now. Skeleton Barrel,
along with bats. You know, I mean, does he have a zap to get rid of the bats? It's just like worrying about
bats
it.
are stronger. Let's see.
Zappo's winning in the end.
May just be the barrel, because you do end up using the zap most of the time for the skeletons.
Surprising, we're not going to see a golem deck from the side of Shun for now. The Rascal will be there, but Poison take care of the Rascal girls in the back. Got the Infernal Dragon to make sure you take care of the Rascal boy. Be there for now, but what we're going to see from the others, because we're going to get this happening right here. The Poison being planted down, so the skeletons, when they do come down, will go down right away. And
both players really concerned about potential beatdown deck. We don't really see too heavy of a push from either side.
Okay, we see a charge deck now being countered by the Mega Minion. The Mega Knight happening really nicely here, and what he can make out of it. So, now we see the Goblin Gang doing a good job, but just really, the perfect calculation. Makes sure no damage.
That's what I love.
Comes in and Shun he knows basically 1 hit of a difference to make sure he gets 0 damage onto his own tower.
Yeah, it's just so fun when the Mega Knight, while it's in motion of flying into the tower, goes down to the arrow.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling in Clash Royale.
Like you've done something right there, and what do you make out of it? The Rascal girls, not trouble for the minute. Really fast attack speed. Help out the con. The Miner, that'll be the surprise attack here, and the Rascal boy is going to reach the tower. Rascal girls starting to hit out, but let's see the Bandit. Just barely able to get to the Rascal girl, but still takes a lot of damage. Now 1658 for Shun.
These 2 decks, very much, I would say similar with lots of different units, but most of the damage comes from the poison as well. So how you use the poison, oftentimes it has been used as to counter the Skeleton Barrel, but Jai, he can't do that anymore. He needs to make sure he actually goes in offensive with the poison.
You see the charge now coming in with that Prince for Shun. Gonna see an offensive poison. He's gonna see the Rascal girl going down, and the Rascal boy will go down as well with the Mega Knight. How will he take care of that? We got the bats ready to go. We got the Infernal Dragon ready to go, but still looking like he wants to take charge to the tower. The Prince is back once again along with the Bandit. This is gonna be all in push here.
Charge dash, zaps in, and after this Miner, they will go. Okay, they take care of all the units, but Jai missed his poison right before. Still winning in the tower health.
You're gonna see the Goblin Gang being set up here with the poison for the Rascals ready to go. Fine, but nothing really coming out. This spell cycle will not complete in 3 minutes, but a strike attack from the right side and see where it can get. the Mega Knight just once again saving his toes there.
Missing the drop damage, but still okay. Soaks in all the Prince damage, no damage done to the tower of himself.
Okay, the Mega Knight gonna go for the Infernal Dragon and zaps in midair. The Bandit so strong and tanky. Make sure he takes care of all the work there. Miner to the left side for Jai.
In the meantime, should do some damage to the left side. So let's see how well this one connects. He does have the zap cycles, Jai is.
Here to see once again a nice poison being played out. The zap taking care of the skeleton barrel with the skills coming down. Miner back once again. Let's take care of something
Miner
else here.
does connect about 200 plus damage.
Okay.
Even bringing down the barrel right before with the poison. Nicely done by Jai.
8:44 as 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock, and see how far these guys can get it.
Oh, predicted. Great poison from John, just kind of predicting where the goblins were going to be.
It gets one charge though. Let's see the Miner being put out here, and the bats taking care of so much. Infernal Dragon is going to get down to 315.
315. Poison plus few damage from the Miner should do it. Just 2 more.
We're going to see from here the zap coming through. 315. Miner helping out.
Not directly connecting. I think that was intended.
Okay. Gonna see the Bandit. Will it connect? Just one charge,
Dashes
and that's gonna be it. And 119 down to 25, and that will be the skeleton barrel finishing him off. And very much that one charge was needed. Jai was ahead most of that game, and in overtime puts the pressure on Shun and gets a game 1 victory.
That's the reason why I love Bandit so much. It dashes in, double the damage, 320 directly onto the tower, and it does not get hit while in animation. Bandit is invincible almost. And it will actually go through the spells like the log, go straight to the tower and just finishes off sometimes. It is a great card.
That's what we're getting. I mean, Shun was really behind for most of that game, and man, he's gonna get that game 1 victory, even without the beatdown tech, which we so widely used off this meta here. And I imagine this game too, he might just go with the beatdown and finish out the series.
Sometimes you think you got the Bandit, but the arrow traveling to Bandit gets cancelled while in dash motion. And that does happen a lot. Even in pro play, it's really hard to predict sometimes. My Bandit is small, but does a lot of damage, does 1,000 and more if left alone to the tower.
We're gonna see Jai. Can he recover from this? Because that's a tough defeat to take. Really, when you were so ahead for most of that game and you die out in the very end, just it's an inch of difference that came to Shun.
I think Shun really did a great job just shaking him to the other side, making sure he has to think about the other side also. Just playing with the mind and the cycle as well.
You can see here, game 2 could be the last one. Match point for Shun. If he can get another win, that'll be really much a comeback story for Game With, as they lost set 1, but winning out set 2 barely. Let's see set 3, see what happens.
Miner all the way to the right. Because Tornado is, of course, available just in case. Miner gets dragged by the Tornado, activating the King Tower.
Didn't happen there, and just gonna cycle at the zap. Look at that, just a zap perfectly used. Just make sure that Mega Minion gets no damage. Onto your tower. Okay. See the skeleton summon out here, and that's not gonna be taken care of, and that's gonna take a little bit of damage.
Ice Golem does not help this.
Uh-oh, this is gonna be a troubling one, and for basically just 3 elixir, you got a good value out of that one, getting it down to 1870.
I think Jai was basically looking for possibly a Golem, changing into a Golem deck for Shun, which he did play a lot. That's why he has a Tombstone and all the other Fireball.
Let's see the Miner on both sides. Skeleton Barrel once again on the left side. Not going to be a beatdown deck whatsoever. And Ice Golem just trying to slow things down, but the damage comes through it.
Oh,
the skeleton.
Early zap, and the Skeletons are doing crazy amount of damage. Not the way you want to go in this final game, potentially.
1395 for just those 3 elixir by a missed zap. And oh my goodness, a Giant definitely hitting himself on the head for that one.
Shun almost got this game. And if it's the same one, he does have the poison. He should have the poison. If it's the same deck from game 1.
Shun is incredibly ahead, and there's no
Oh,
question about that. And these bats not even taken care of because the zap already has been used.
Everyone in the world will agree with you, Joe. And just a single mistake with the spell will cost you that much. And Miner onto the right side this time. Shun just trying to attack on the both sides once again.
Skeleton Barrel just going for that tombstone for anything, but Miner now on the side of Jai. He's gonna get some chip damage, but nothing too significant for the moment there. Tombstone on the side, going to the right.
Inferno Dragon not really effective against all the cards, but Shun has right now small units and a lot of units, so can't really.
We're going to use Balloon on the right side, but the minion horde just revealed in time. But it's going to go to get one drop maybe, but it just proves us wrong once again. And
not even too close, not even catching the explosion damage. Minion horde just hold for the right moment.
Oh my goodness.
Only would have expected. Look at the bats even doing so much damage.
Oh, it's just the Inferno Dragon trying to just take care of it, but oh my goodness, 598 on the right, 725 on the left, and there's nothing for him to do here. The bats gonna be wiped away by Fireball.
Not in time.
Oh my goodness, and this is sudden death now. See who takes it, but still a huge advantage. The Miner still going at it here, 399.
And 2K plus for both of the tower for Shun. So close. I wonder what the final card is.
Okay, we're gonna see this right here.
A great fireball getting that horde as well. So
Get
this
that.
can actually go all the way.
Okay,
At least
22. One drop, 1544. Second drop does not come through, and that's hugely important. The Mega Minion still going for it here, and wow, that's a huge, huge loss already.
Down to
for
760. It is totally possible.
Hey, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds before everything is over here, and goodness, what a game this is turning out to be.
Look at that! Look at this push from the right side Miner, and the zap already used before the barrel.
But the fireball missed at the wrong time,
way
and
too
that
early.
was gonna be the game changer there. And game with Shun picking out the second victory in the game. Will pick out the series for the top team in Japan and the top team in Clash Royale League Asia, and they're gonna continue on the win streak to head straight for the finals.
Shun basically knew. He timed his units so the bats would be there before the barrel drops down on the skeleton. So just from the damage from the Miner and the bat, the tower was going to be down, so Jai had to use the zap. And then right after, the barrel goes down with the skeletons and the fireball right after. And even after that, even if he blocks everything with the spell, he will be losing the elixir trade.
Yeah.
So Shun had everything calculated. What a great player.
Still, crucial mistakes in that game too for Jai. It's basically that zap, that would have been the difference. I mean, you literally gave a free cycle of that skeleton barrel once it dropped in front of your tower. And it did so much damage.
We
And
did see a great predicted fireball taking down the horde, which was great. He almost had a massive comeback here.
right here, this was a game changer that could have been so different. And look at that.
In your face.
Oh
What it
my
says.
goodness, that's when you have that in your real life, when you have that in the real game.
The best feeling ever.
Oh, and the opponents, the things they're thinking, just negative thoughts left and
You
right.
just gotta give respect. When that happens to me all the time,
my
I just give
God.
thumbs up to the opponent or well played.
I turn off my emotes. Just to quit, to make myself.
Because that happens to you.
Yeah, no, just to keep myself from raging in general. Yes, but this is what basically could have stopped the game. The fireball came in a little bit too early. We're gonna get to the interview to see how the players are feeling after the game. We're gonna hear from Game.
Congratulations! Thank you. How do you feel?
ちょっと一戦目アマテラスさんがアマテラスがちょっと落としたっていうところで
Amaterasu lost, so I was very
す
nervous.
ごい汗をかいてたんですけど
So I was sweating a lot,
2on2 でも取ってくれて最後
but 2-on-2 we won, and Shun was able to win the third match, so we're very happy now.
まあ後ろからこうね後押しをしていた存在だったと思うんですけどもいかがでしたか。
So you were cheering on your team at the bench.
バンカードが発表された時に結構予想通りだったんですけど
When we saw the Amaterasu's band card, it was very expected.
ありましたけど
ハプニングなんですね。
It was a
最後はしっ
happening.
かりなんかさらにもう勝ちたいっていう気持ちが高ぶってくれたようで
But I think it built up our urge to win, so which resulted in a good ending.
ヒーロー選手がハプニングと言ってましたけどもいかがですか。
So it was a happening, the band card.
2戦とも相手の方が予想上行ってたっていうか完全に
I think my opponent outbeat me in the expectation
悔しいんですけど、
before seeing the
残り
game,
の2人が
so I'm very
来
upset.
れたんで本当に良かったです。
But the rest of the team pulled off, so I'm very
く
happy.
ださいましたけども、この2名の選手、そして KK 選手いきましょうか。今の気持ちいかがですか。
2v2 players.
まあ相手のバンカードはまあラバってちょっと予想外だったんですけど、
はい。
まあでも
I think the Lava Hound ban was very unexpected.
もう完全に相手のデッキ何来るか分かってたんで。
But I think by the time we got to the third game, we were able to expect their decks.
情報戦でしっかり勝利を収めることができたと。
So the prediction is what resulted in your good
いや
winning.
大活躍でした。
Shun, that was a good game.
そうですね。1戦目アマテラスさんが本当負けたのが
The Amaterasu' first game loss was pressuring me to win. So I tried really hard to win.
対してどういったところを気をつけないといけないっていうのは。
So what did you be careful about in terms of your opponents?
地上戦が結構上手い人だと思ってたんで、
They're good with the ground play.
結構予想外だったんですけど、
So they were playing with the air, and that was a little bit
相性で
unexpected.
なんとか勝つかなと思って
But I think I
最後もね
prepared my deck well, and I was able to play against it.
相手のこうズレもあったり、自分のズレもあったり、いろんなこう噛み合わせありましたよね。
They missed, you missed. There were a lot of combinations
と
there.
なりましたけれども、シーズン通してまず、ゲームイズここまでどう変わっていったと思いますか。
Now, your first place, how do you feel that your team has changed so
も
far?
ともと仲良かったんですけど、やっぱりそれ以上仲良くなって、
We were always good together. We were very close, but I think we got even closer.
もっとこうした方がいいよっていうのは、最初のよりももっとできるようにはなってきているので、
And we're able to talk more by saying we should do this, we should do
し
that,
っかり勝っていきたいなと思ってます。
and we'd like to win even more.
プレーオフも待っておりますけれども、改めまして
Now playoff is waiting for you.
勝利を収めましたゲームイズの皆さんでした。おめでとうございます。
Good luck.
さあ、この後はマッチ2の方に移りますが、少しインターバルを設けます。
And that was going to be the end of the interview with Game With looking so good. After that series win, we thought that, it might have been on the other end because Brent Esports decided to show it with 1v1 Jai getting a clean 2-0 sweep, but 2v2 and eventually the ace match did go over to the best team right now in Clash Royale League Asia, and they're going to head themselves straight to the finals now.
I was expecting for them to be a little bit happier, but they still have one more match and the most important match to go to. So I guess it's a little bit early for them to celebrate. Still, they have massive advantage now. They go straight to the final. They can watch all the wildcard games, the semi-playoff and the playoff. They'll be waiting right on top. They only have to play one best of 5. That's going to be the finals coming in weeks of time, but they put themselves all the way up there, putting a lot of the advantage. That's what the pennant race is about.
But we're going to get to Game With, finishing out very strong, going to the finals, but we're going to see opponent sports can pull out as well after a short break. We're going to be back with them to play against the second series. So we're going to be right back after a bit. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys, to Clash Royale League Asia. We're back with the second series after the first one did clinch out. Game with going all the way to the finals now after their win, and we're going to go on to Pona Sport. They can still stay strong and become that second best team that they are right now, currently in Japan.
Very likely they will go to the wildcard at least, and maybe make it out of there as well. But AHQ, they still deserve a chance. Of course, after Brain Esports dropping their match, if they win, they will be the first place from Southeast Asia, and they also have to go all the way just in case they drop their second match, you know?
I mean, they're in seventh place overall for HQ, but still shows that they're very much one of the top teams right now, even in Southeast Asia. But what we're looking at is that can they beat up Pona Sport? Looking very strong. See that orange lights lighting up to show that this is going to be the second best team we have here in the tournament, with Pona Sport, with Mick and Booyah, Uchi, Tengod, and Raiki Jones rounding out the lineup and have looked very good up to this so far, and they're going to try to continue on the run.
Raiki Jones?
Definitely not. It's not going to be the right names below the people here.
So they saw that and frowning faces because of that, but they can just switch, you know, they can magically just swap Moonwalk.
Or just
go
switch
to the
places.
left.
It doesn't have to be magical. Does everything in life have to be magical, Chiclet?
We have a lot of spells.
That is Fuchi right there. Just so you guys know, that is not Mick and Booyah. Mick and Booyah is the one
in the middle.
In the middle.
That was in the middle.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, right there. Without the beanie.
Speaking of the beanie, he has it. Is it a crown beanie? Yes,
Where do I go?
It is a crown beanie. The more and more the weeks go by, I really want that crown beanie. I wonder if anyone can get it for me.
We have to travel to Japan, Joel.
Woo.
And
for probably a $30 beanie, I have to pay like $100 to just get over there to Japan.
Maybe instead buy some gems in Clash Royale. I think that.
I mean, I'm the package kind of guy, and the gems are like essentially in the end, you're basically buying gems to get into the Grand Challenge. But man, the Grand Challenges are tough, and I can't get more than 2 wins. But that's just me.
Oh, a log ban.
Okay. That's
okay.
Whoa.
I was wondering about this. Why is no one actually banning the log when you can actually bait out so many other spells as well? So this basically secures lots of arrows. Because of that ban, you would basically expect the opponent to actually have lots of goblins, which takes care of the minion horde as well. So arrows would be a great option now.
But can it destroy a Rascal at tournament level? I don't think it can.
Yes.
Does it?
The girls, yes.
Okay, the Rascal girls in the back goes down to 1 arrow, so the same level. Okay, I mean, you might have to check up on that, because I just really want to find out, because the biggest thing about the Rascal that came out, that log being so valuable, is that you know, you get the 3 elixir trade out of using a log with the 2 elixirs, basically getting out the Rascal girls in the back. The Rascal boy it's not going to be too much problem to deal with, but you know, while you're figuring it out, we're going to have to talk about how important arrow is now in the tournament level. Level 9 arrow, does that defeat out the Rascal girls in the back at level 9? Okay, we look at it now. What is the answer?
Oh yes.
It does?
Certainly.
Okay.
Over 30 damage.
Okay.
Because log does a lot. Not too much less, but about the same damage. Very similar damage to the only good ground unit.
Yeah.
So does take care of the girls for sure. And it's 3 elixir, very big radius. So we're looking at potentially lots of small goblin units, but you see the ban onto Fuchi though. Inferno Dragon ban, which hints a lot of the beatdowns as well.
Beatdown, but you know, I think HQ just thinking of that, the log bait deck, talking about the Goblin gang being there, the Spear Goblins, the Goblin Barrel, talking about the Princess being there as well in the mix, and you know, it's been the Grand Challenge deck that has worked out, and we might even get to see the Mortar. I mean, back to the Classic just about a few weeks ago that this happened, but without the log, it's just because of less of a tool, and that really composition worked out so well, and might just see it in the next minute or so.
And you know what has been an addition to all those Grand Challenge decks? Valkyrie.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Sweeping out all the goblins.
Yep.
And oftentimes a Dark Prince does act in a similar role in that in those decks, but a lot of the players has been switching into Valkyrie.
Valkyries are actually really good against that deck. I think you're right. The defensive strats are looking so good, and I mean, even without the log, the Valkyrie will be there to take care of it. And even the Mega Knight, if you're so desperate, but that's been seen played.
That's a heavy elixir drop.
Oh, yeah.
7 dropped on the ground, and if you miss it, then
I hope you don't miss it. That will
It's
be
really hard to miss, yes.
It really is. I mean, it's just about as easy as an arrow, I think, to drop the Mega Knight properly there.
Hey, which is actually okay. Without the Inferno Dragon,
yeah.
it's quite tough to actually bring that heavy,
Yeah, Mega Knight.
fatty knight, you know?
What else do you bring down a Mega Knight with other than the Infernal Dragon? I'm saying
Another
Infernal
Mega
Tower.
Knight.
Wow. Come on, G-Cliff. Bring me out of here.
That is always the best way. Like, how do you counter Golem? Another Golem
You're right.
of your own. A better push.
It is. And Infernal Tower is still in, so if you're really desperate to make sure you get the big units out of there,
Oh, yeah.
Infernal Tower will be of use. Be really interesting. Really interesting bands usually comes out to really interesting picks in terms of what cards these two players bring out, but it's gonna be Kangxi versus Fuchi. We didn't get to mention the player name because we were so surprised by the bands. We had so much to talk about.
Yeah, only to Fuchi. But Amaterasu had a barrel mirror deck,
You did?
which would work perfectly without the log here.
You're right.
And that is totally possible. And mirror just suddenly popping off from time to time actually is not really having the best win rate. But you can upset your opponent in that way. Maybe it will work out. Let's see.
Gonna find out in the first game, Kangxi from HQ and Fuchi from Pono Sports, and see what result we're gonna get to start us off. You can see Fuchi on top, and
Yeah, of course the exciting moments.
if I can see the log bait deck, Kangxi would definitely finish things. Was thinking
Oh,
this from the day one, and
Told you the arrows.
Arrow just an even trade, 3 for 3.
Yes.
Valkyrie will be there as you expected, and now we can see the tombstone from Fuchi and see what we can get out of it.
Just in case the golem pops up from nowhere. You do want to delay a little bit.
Okay, Lava Hound. This is what Fuchi was thinking when he banned out
Oh, a barrel.
Infernal Dragon. Okay. So how much damage is this gonna do?
Oh,
Oh, the arrow's coming from the other.
arrows.
Okay.
Actually, it does a lot of damage. Even the Valkyrie
Wow.
doing tons of damage to the tower.
Okay, this is trouble now. And
Everything we predicted is in this game. Even the Inferno Tower from Joel.
it makes so much sense that, you know, without
Yes.
the Infernal Dragon, the Infernal Tower had to make it up, and let's see it come through, and lots of damage did come out, but the Mega Man gonna get 2 hits, and that's about it.
Oh man, I'll be fine. If I'm Kangxi right
Oh, yeah.
now, down to 713 for Fuchi. I mean,
Oh, that counter arrow towards those minions, and man, and no escape from that one.
oh yes, with the balloon. We expected this from the Lava Hound.
Lava Loon combo is gonna be in play, but the rocket.
Boom!
Oh man, you're losing at one elixir, but you're never gonna mind that. Winning out so well now, Kangxi on the head now.
And even without the rocket, he does have the Inferno Tower as well. So against the balloon, he does have 2 counters.
Okay, see this come up. Nothing. Nothing.
No arrows, he's willing to just sacrifice.
Okay, 20. It's not gonna lose a tower, but basically it's essentially gone in.
He wants to put all the units, the minion, Mega Minion, even the balloon in the cycle
Oh,
for this maximum push.
Infernal Tower.
Already locked in Valkyrie as a defensive tool. Very tanky as well.
Saving the arrow for the princess more than anything, and now the balloon's starting to get pushed up. The rocket is gonna be there to take care of the balloon, and it's not even gonna get a drop onto the Infernal Tower, and that's gonna be very much Kangxi on the offensive end here. 16-17 on this tower, and it's not even gonna worry about the left side anymore. Just gonna pressure down the right side, and Rascals here make the plays here.
Trying once again. Already onto the right side. He deserves Inferno. He's just ready for what Fuchi has here.
Really doesn't.
Minion getting the hit.
Yeah, Minion just aggroing out.
But this Lava Hound does better. But the balloon, which side do you want to push?
Hey, the Rocket's gonna get inch perfect, getting the balloon in time in 7 seconds. The lava pops. Definitely not gonna do the work there. 12-12.
Arrows locked in.
The
and
Valkyrie. Gonna be right there.
fire? Not yet? Yes.
Just arrow. Arrow does 20 more damage. It does more than 20 damage.
Even the zap or any spell finishes. Even the tick of poison will finish.
I mean, you know what it is, though. The arrow does very little damage to tower, but it's got to do a little more than 20 as he gets the win right there. Kangxi looking very good as we start off the first one. Now we're on to the second. See if Fuchi can stand back and come back to this play here. Wonder if he called a timeout, because we're going to see 2 minutes before we get to the next one.
Oh, yes. Wonder. Very likely from Ponos, of course. But look at those arrows just having a massive effect. Without the log, it was expected. But how Kangxi actually had the barrel with the Inferno Tower as well.
And the timer's gone, by the way. What do you make out of this, Chico? What's
No
your
timeout.
what's your analysis on this one?
There was no timeout called.
Okay.
And we're going straight into the 1v1 again.
Straight into without even a minute.
I think they're.
Oh
I
my
think the production
goodness.
is right now just fixing all the stuff right now. It will appear on the screen very soon.
There's your analysis for the day, G Cliff. Here.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I did my job.
There
Do I
you
get
go.
to leave?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I'll just cast the entire thing.
No, I love Clash Royale so much. I will stay for the final game. The maximum of 9 games. Of course, only 8 for the first match. So.
We got a little bit of mistake with the timer, and
Mm-hmm.
probably we'll get a reset of it soon enough.
All the referees from all the regions, they're crisp on time. They like count down with the fingers. Exactly the same condition.
Does that make it crisp? Counting down with your finger?
Yes, because
that's
sometimes
not very-
sometimes the language could be the problem. Use your fingers, gestures. When I went to Europe for the
That's
first
the
time,
least exact thing I've ever heard. Like, counting down with your fingers, G Cliff. That's back in 2nd grade, man.
they have all the 2018 technology, man.
That's
You
what
just
20
use the timer on your cell phone as well.
2018 technology. Finger by G Cliff.
We came all the way down here from floppy disk.
Hog Rider, okay.
No tornado
Okay.
yet.
Gonna get 1 hit.
Only one.
But overspending on the elixir just to get there, by.
Just by one. Getting 1 hit is not too bad, you know, just to start.
Uh-oh.
Elixir collector.
Beatdown deck. Are we gonna see this? See the fireball taking down Elixir Collector along with some damage onto the tower, and see what happens. Giant instead of the golem this time around.
We'll see. She drops Valkyrie already. He had the maximum elixir as well, so dropping down a little bit early.
See the 3 Musketeers being played here. This was what the Elixir Collector was for, and Valkyrie gonna have a hard time behind the Giant. Taken down quite easily. Flying Machine now.
Let's see the defense from Bucci. He might just have to trade the opposite side with the Hog Rider very soon.
Trade, you say? This is gonna get both ends under pressure, and
Uh-huh.
the Barbarians taken down by the Valkyrie, but the Musketeer, 2 of them doing so much work, and down to 1302 now.
There's a Hog.
We're gonna see to come through it, and gonna get 1 hit in the end.
Yeah, only 1, but compare the total damage done to both towers. Kangxi just leading. That's why the 3 Musketeer is so hard to defend against. Most of the units just secure 1 lane, and you can split few units, but it's really hard to defend both at the same time.
Okay, we're gonna see the Elixir Collector being planted on the right side to force another fireball, but on the opposite end
And the Giant appears.
for Fuchi. How does he defend against this? Might just see another 3 Musketeers being summoned out.
And
Battle ram first.
it's pretty hard for Kangxi. You just have the 3 Musketeer, and he's placing right in the middle because Fuji just used the Fireball, which is the best counter against them, but not available in his hand right now. It's late in rotation.
Gonna get 2 Musketeers first, but we're gonna see them push out forward here because
Flying
the
Machine helping a
Musketeer
little bit. Look
on
at
the left.
Oh,
Look at
look
this.
at the damage.
So much being done and nothing that can be stopped here. Even the bats just strolling in. Look at the Elixir Collector just casually sitting in the middle of the field there.
He was expecting the Hog Rider cycle to come in, even having the minion horde.
Yeah, Minion Horde wasn't revealed to the very end, but let's see how much of a push he can get because 10 seconds left.
This
He has to
push
get 14
actually
on 1.
is very strong.
Ah, the 3 Musketeer ultimate for defense is gonna just stall out the time. Kangxi is gonna get a 2-0 victory against Fuchi, and AHQ is gonna go 1-up in the series.
Already 1-up, 2-0. That has been the pattern from the 1v1s tonight. Southeast Asia just dominating. Look at that heart. Perfect. Maybe he has a girlfriend.
Could be just it could be to us. I mean, I don't mind receiving hearts from people. I mean, that's great. I mean, Fuchi, I mean, he looked strong and throughout the season, but you know, Kangxi's looked better. I mean, in game 1 looked very good now, and now we're gonna go to set 2, 2v2, and AHQ just wants a clean finish, but against opponent's Sword, we thought it was gonna be a one-sided matchup towards the other end. You know, we thought it was gonna be that, but you know, 2v2. Now it's gonna be looking. Why keep laughing?
Thought it was funny.
Okay, but you know, we're gonna go in 2v2, and we're gonna see if they're gonna get onto the matches here, because HQ looking very good on the 1v1s. Gonna try to continue on the 2v2 and see if they can get a clean finish here.
Yeah, Southeast Asia, they are just dominating with the deck, and very unexpected bans coming out. Golem Giant for the first 1v1, Log Inferno Dragon, which was a big problem for both of the players, but I guess Fuchi was ready for the Inferno Dragon because that was his ban, but without the log, it seemed like his deck was really not too well balanced in terms of how he could defend against a barrel
Yeah.
and sometimes a miner. Even the second game, he was really losing lots of the trade.
Can see the 2v2 here. Shaka and also Yao Yao for the side HQ. Raiki Jones and Mikibuya, the classic 2v2 combo we have for Pono Sports.
Let's see how it comes down. And Mikibuya, known as one of the best player in this entire league.
Yeah.
And if he goes all the way to the ace match, very likely he will play on for the ace match. But he did drop 1-1v1 for the first time against a Korean player for sure.
Yes, but you know, Mikibuya is still registered as a top proposition in the tournament. You know, maybe him and Shun make up the top two. You know, not in particular order of the best players here in the league. And I mean, Shaka and Yao Yao trying to challenge them. They can beat them. They're gonna get a clean 2-0 sweep over Pono Sports. I think that wouldn't have been expected when we came into this one, but could be all of a possibility as Pono Sports has suffered defeat before, but it's not bad. It might not be the first one, but HQ now looking on the uprise, trying to do well here.
This was the combo from duo from HQ when they were up against very, very strong teams of 2v2. Later phase of Sandbox and even OG and Entus. They were using this duo for the stronger teams, I would say, against Korea and also Japan. And 50%, so not too bad, I would say, compared to who they were up against.
They're gonna get that because you know, Pono Sports, this duo has been the scariest duo in 2v2. All the Clash Royale League Asian, Mikibuya and Raiki Jones have done wonderful things together, and gonna be up against Shaka and Yaya. You talked about the stats that you were mentioning earlier, but these two need to pull up a super performance in order to beat these guys on the other side.
Interesting stats from Ponos. Mikibuya was in all D2v2 except for just one where Raiki Jones had it for him with his teammate, and Mikibuya basically in all 2v2 playing with Fuchi, Tengad, and Raiki Jones. At least one or more 2v2s. Having, look at that win rate as well. 15 wins, 1 tie, 9 losses.
Tough stuff, and we're going to see the bans come through. You're going to see the balloon and the giant skeleton being banned out from left and right.
It seems like the giant skeleton needs to brush his teeth, man.
You know, maybe it's been said years ago when it was first created, said that it needs to brush his teeth, and he hasn't brushed since, and it's still the same color.
It looks a little yellow on the TV, but on the band card it's actually super white.
No, it's
What
still
happened? Did he
kinda-
go to the dentist?
It's still kind of yellow. Look at that, just a little bit closer, maybe just eyesight difference
Well,
there.
look at the skeleton from the from
Yeah,
the
I'm
balloon,
looking- I'm
though.
looking at
It's
it.
super white.
It looks yellow. What are you talking about? It looks yellow. Thankfully, you know, Mikibuya and Raiki Jones, they have white teeth. To
Of
bring
course,
them-
they're kind of dead already, so they don't really have to take care of their
Exactly. Again.
teeth.
It doesn't get any yellower. Can't get any yellower than that. So
Well, we can go all the way to black, which is disgusting, but of
then they would
course-
die and they would explode and
But
do
they-
lots of damage.
Yes, well, that's exactly why
Yeah.
they're dead already. That's why they're carrying bomb, because they're dead already. Might as well just do some damage, you know, after they go down.
You better be worth something with 6 elixirs to use.
Or
use
5, yes, from the balloon.
Okay.
Even dropping down with a machine there. Reggie Jones, the pair. 8-3. Can you do the math? 8 over 11? 12?
8 out of 12.
3 out of 4. 75% win rate.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty easy math. I mean, you were
Oh, yes.
talking about
I did it by
it.
myself.
Yeah, talking about it as if it was like a really extreme challenge math or something, but it was 8
Hey,
out
once
of
it
12.
once it comes down to like 2-3 digits, it's actually pretty hard sometimes.
I mean, 8 out of 12 is still just 75%.
Because
Actually-
I was not counting the tie.
Wait, it's not 75%. It's 66.7%. 8 out of 12. It's 4, 8, 12. I guess you needed to ask me on that one.
Okay.
Thanks for
I
asking me.
was tricking you, Joe.
Thanks for asking me.
Now
I
you know.
I gave you the,
It took you some time.
I gave you the right answer where you just have to write it down on the paper. I did it on my head, by the way. So 8 out of 12.
I was tricking you. I was
we-
testing you. You
we-
did not fall into the trap.
We were talking about the what was that? Mensa test or something like that. The
the
test.
super
that
genius people
Yeah,
from
yeah,
all
yeah,
around the
yeah.
world that you have to pay. Yes.
Yeah. We were talking about whether it will be applicable to go for some type of exam. or what.
Totally not for myself.
Yeah, and a lot
I
of the
used to be smart, you know.
I mean, but you can't calculate.
Back when I
out-
was 2 years old, yeah.
You can't
I
calculate
was,
8 out
I
of
was like
12.
a sponge, like absorbing everything.
Ooh. But you know who's a sponge? Castro from the Korean desk. He's trying to go for that test and see what he can make out of it.
Not gonna succeed. Moving on.
Poor Castro.
Moving on. Of course, we do have the band's kind of interesting because we don't really see the giant skeleton band as much. Usually we would expect something like a golem or even the giant. Or lots of the tornado, which actually has not been banned today for 2v2 yet. The most common ban for 2v2.
Yeah.
Tornado and poison.
But it's going to be Shaka. And, you know, with the wonderful things that he's done for this team and in the 1v1 and the 2v2. He's back on the 2v2 run. And it's an important time for him now, once again, with him and Yao Yao. If they can beat out Pona Sports, that will be them taking off a clean sweep. And basically, I don't think Pona Sports has ever been clean sweep by any team throughout the whole season. I always remember, even if they lost, the 2 losses that they got, I think it was always a 2-1 defeat. Can't count me wrong
The
on
only
that
thing
one.
I see on... You're right.
Yeah.
Because I do not see any 0-2 on 2v2. There
Yeah.
they couldn't have been any clean 4-0 defeat.
Yeah.
I do see only 2 0-2s on 1v1, but that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is at least 1-2.
That's what I'm saying. I think Pona Sports never really have been clean swept by any team.
That
Across
just proves
all
how consistent they are as well.
7 weeks of playing. This what you get, Royal Giant.
Royal Giant, are we going to see Sparky as
Oh.
well?
Okay.
Instant response with the Princess.
Okay, we're gonna look at this now. Gonna get a couple hits and great defense there, but
Only a couple though.
you use so much elixir to get that though. You gotta remember that it's a huge damage output in terms of what you're getting.
Well responded by Ponos Esports. Ponos
One
Sports.
You get 1 hit though in the end. Golem being summoned.
Luckily, they had the perfect starting hand against Royal Giant,
Yeah.
which is not the most common card.
Let's see how this works out. As a look at back, Pekka is now here to take care of the Golem here, and
Even the rage is on.
Rage is going to be allowing it to get to the tower barely, but the explosion damage does not connect to the tower.
Great log by HQ as well. You do want to throw that down right when the golem explodes.
Clean defense by the side of AHQ. Predictive log gets only the guards,
Yeah,
but
log actually missing few of the guards in front. Will take some damage because of it.
1707. Not going to be a trouble now, and
About the same, only 65 difference.
I'm going to see a Royal Giant once again, though. This is going to be the question.
Hey Joe, I'm really on top of the math today.
There you go.
The numbers are coming down.
Except 8 divided by 12. You forgot that one.
I was testing you, I'm telling you.
66.7% in the
Hey,
end.
Infernal Dragon, Electro. We'll just stop it
Okay.
again and again.
But look at the Royal Giants, still doing so much work already at 977. They want the same type of damage for that one, and 818. They can get the stop onto this Golem, and look how fast it's just melting.
Yeah, Firewall only getting the shield, so let's take a look a little bit more from this push.
Pekka can get 1 swipe, and wow, in the end, great defense from Shaka and Yao Yao.
Only taking the poison damage from Ponos.
see
And they were expecting the miner to be all the way in the back, so Prince placed. But had to miss some damage because of it.
You can see the Prince being charging up here. Gotta spot out the skeleton each time around, and once again, a Golem being summoned by Mikimbuya and Raiki Jones, hoping for a better push this time around.
They do have the rage as well, so I think they time it well. But double Golem, this is
Ah.
the perfect one. They're putting everything down right here to
Okay,
the
look.
side.
See how this works out. The Rage just trying to push out the double Golem in front. The Tornado stopping in its tracks, and see how much it pushes out, because the first
Golem.
Golem already goes down. Second one gonna go down as well. As long as
See,
they get the
Not
defense,
in
the rocket.
time.
Yeah, that's gonna be the rocket to finish him off, and didn't have much of time for Shaka and Yao Yao, and didn't have to defend it as much, and they're gonna get the first win on this game here.
Hey, 3-0. Joe, you were talking about they were never clean swept by any other team. This may be the day.
Might be, and about 1 minute away before we get that, unless we're going to get a timeout from Pona Sport. But for the time being, we're definitely not going to get it. And Mikimbuya and Raiki Jones doesn't feel pressured that they're going to be clean swept here, but could be very wrong because that game one with that Royal Giant, not doing too much in the first rotation, but the second rotation doing a lot better. So eventually going to get the turret, finishing it off with the rocket there.
Like I was saying last weekend, Southeast Asia, they were totally destroyed by the Korean team. 8-0. I mean, talk about the worst weekend possible. And then we were coming into week 8. We were expecting the Japanese team to be a little bit better because against the Koreans, they were doing really well. But in the week of time, they had preparation to fly to Japan, also get used to the environment at the same time. They did something right. I don't know exactly, of course, but they made their preparation against these Japanese teams, and so far they are succeeding very, very well. Of course, first one went to game with, but it was very close. Second, AHQ, they are already on the match point.
Could be their win. Could be just one win away from getting this now. Opponent Sport, Rakido still in smiles and feels like they're ready. Ikenboya is a little bit more serious faced and definitely getting very much ready for this one. And Yao Yao and Shaka did very good in the game one. Can they continue in the game two and clean sweep out? Opponent Sports, we're going to find out.
I think Ponos, even if they drop both of the matches, very likely to make it into the wild card, and it is impossible for them to be number 1 in the region. So
yep,
less of a pressure for them.
Not much changing by the results of this game. I think they're just comfortably ahead of every team at the moment, except Gateway, which is the reason they're not going to go straight to the finals. Goblin Barrel now. Can they solve this? They don't have a log 4, so they're going to have to just use the bats to limit out damage, but the Prince is taking care of it well. That's another double barrel.
We want to have the second barrel. We did see this type of deck ever since the Rascals came in. Lots of the Japanese teams is bringing this down for 2v2.
Yeah, this is a Japanese meta, and Yao Yao and Shaka is actually using it against them, so very interesting. So see what can get out of it. Rascal just taking care of things now. And see, it's still a log bait deck across both sides. So gonna get out the
Who activates the king? Nice tornado, well timed.
Tornado will take out once again. It's gonna open up the King's Tower for a pre-roll, and Rascals still doing a very good job. How's this one gonna be stopped? Did they have another log for it? Okay, baiting it out.
Dark Goblin as well. Just ooh, laser does lock. Okay, has to use a tornado. That's an extra one.
That's kind of a waste there, and 3 elixir that didn't have to be used, had to be forced out there, and still the Infernal Dragon takes us down to 12-12.
They're still okay. They're losing in health damage onto the tower, but still, in terms of how they can defend it, they have lots of options. They have the guards, the log.
See another Infernal Dragon being played out here. Poison. Going for it, but see the execution now trying to be played up. They can get out of it because we're eventually going to see it being dropped there.
Second barrel.
Okay, second log coming through right away, and are they going to get another log baiter out? And
they're like robots here. Ooh, and the rocket. Okay. Maybe they were expecting a few, maybe another unit right on top. But
Tesla, though, this is going to help a lot. And Basketball trying to get the worth here. And look at the Dark Goblin in the back, though. It's doing so much damage. It's not going to be stopped.
Down to 100.
Very late log, and you're going to see a double log, a lack of communication there. We're going to see first tower go down. 566. They have to get somehow to stop on this because 134. If they don't get it, this is going to be the end of the game in the minor. Second time around. Staying 2 and the game
double
1,
log.
and that's going to be the end. And second hit does not come through from the minor. And Shaka, Yao Yao. Let's realize this decision. They clean sweep out Pono Sports, and Pono Sports has been clean swept 2-0 on the 1v1, 2-0 on the 2v2, and now they're going to be losing out against HQ.
Thanks, Joel. Caster curse. Just kicked in. You know that happens sometimes. HQ, they were just ready. Look at those logs and how they defended all the time. It was amazing. It used up the Rascals against the Tesla Tower, which works great all the time. And how they had the 2v2, they were just prepared for everything.
And it's unfortunate to see, really. I mean, you talked about Pono Sports being basically having the best 2v2 duo in all of the tournament. And making Booyah Raki Jones, we thought they would be showing up, and we thought they would just come out to play and make it easy against AHQ. But even at the end, talk about the lack of communication. Double log, that is never acceptable in a professional 2v2 environment. And man, that just goes to show you the struggle that has been happening.
Well, AHQ, they were dropping down basically everything they had in their hand. So they were panicking to defend against what was happening.
They just stop talking. I think that's the biggest thing. You have to continue to talk. Communication is the biggest and the most important thing, you know, in a 2v2 match. And we're going to be getting in the end. Look at this in the Goblin Barrel. I mean, just going through it. That Dark Goblin in the back, that was the one that did most of the damage there and continue to pull it up. And look at that. Double log. It's never, never acceptable. In the end, Shaka, Yao so well. And we're going to go up to see, you know, of course, what AHQ has to say in this interview that's coming up.
If that tornado was a little bit, maybe a pixel further away from the tower, I think they could have done less damage. But let's go into the interview with AHQ.
AHQ with the win. Congratulations. How do you feel about this game?
非常的
Jerry Sung just way too happy.
Having a hard time.
I'm very impressed. Did you foresee all the players coming?
2打2的 ban 卡是蛮意料之外的，但是临时的3分钟，我们想到了解决的办法，所以还蛮开心的。
The second match ban card was unexpected, but we were able to solve it very well.
なるほど、ありがとうございます。じゃあ続いていきましょう。今の勝利の感想をいただけますか。
How do you feel about this win?
我就蛮开心的，就是我们居然是4比0获胜。
I'm very happy.
これ実際、先週かなり苦しい戦いだったと思うんですけれども、今週に向けてどういった練習しましたか。
It was a tough game, but how did you practice?
这周我们一定会赢，因为上周我们对方针对我们一些没想到的本卡，然后我们现在这一周已经准备好了，所以我们一定会赢。
今週はしっかり準備しましたので、今回はすごい自信があります。
This week we were very well prepared, so we are very confident.
特に我々驚いたのが 2on2 でのロイジャイ採用。
We were very surprised with the Royal Giant usage in your 2v2.
其实我们2v2的卡池是非常广的，我们会去设计一些比较特别的卡组。
特別なカードを使うのが方法なんで。
We wanted to use a special card, and that's our way, so we picked it. Is that the AHQ strength?
続いていきましょう。ここで一歩こう東南アジアの地域では少し踊り出たわけですけれども、今の気持ちはいかがですか。
So you're falling behind the East Asian teams.
今ちょうど
Southeast Asia
東南ア
teams.
ジアの地域では一個こう踊り出てるような状況なんですけれども、今のお気持ちをいただけますか。
针对等一下会。
And how do you feel about that?
东南亚的选手比较，你们现在的心情是如何的呢？
现在当然是很雀跃的嘛，毕竟我们已经重新得回第一的位置嘛。
今はとても嬉しいです。
Now I'm very happy.
今第一名になったんで、そういうことがすごい嬉しいですね。
And now we're winning, so I'm very happy about that too.
残している状況ですけれども、こちらの見事勝利した HQ e スポーツクラブの活躍に期待したいところです。皆さんありがとうございました。さあということでマッチ2のリプレイをご覧いただきながらお待ちいただきたいと思います。それでは。
And that's going to be the interview from AHQ. Looking very good. They're very well prepared, as they were saying, and really showed up to play against Pono Sports, who has been just clean swept for the first time in the season. And man, looking so good now. They are basically the best team in all Southeast Asia. I would have to say that for sure.
Yes.
Not in terms of record, but obviously in the way they're performing at this very minute. And AHQ continues to improve week after week and might just represent this region very well.
And for now, they are the #1 team from Southeast Asia because they got the win and the first one to have the 5 wins from Southeast Asia. And if you want to bring those special cards, I mean, that's what we're going to have here until the final weekend. We never know what's going to happen. We made predictions. Maybe Japanese team will just dominate against the Southeast Asia, but having a clean sweep 4-0. It's got to be shocking for Pono Sports as well.
And most likely going to be that third place in the region in terms of being behind Japan and Korea. And that's probably going to be them going to the semi-playoffs, but that's going to be very good for them as we're going to go into the third set after a very short break. So we're going to be right back for the comeback for the final series of the night. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys, to Clash Royale League Asia for the final series of the night after 2 series went both ways, with Japan picking up one with Game with getting the victory and Opponent Sports looking like they were going to get the second victory, but has been clean swept by AHQ Esports, and now going on to the third set, not really knowing which team is going to get the victory.
And we'll get to see the teams right away here. Just kicking in with kicks. Dylan the Rock, Lampu, Zhao for roster we have here. I wonder who's going to be at the bench. Has been Dylan just playing a lot of the 1v1s, and Rock with Zhao is stuck as the duo. Oh, actually,
You're going to get Rene?
have a different roster today.
Okay.
Rene, who has not been playing too many times, only having one result for 2v2. None played for the 1v1. They actually have a 6-man roster, so they can swap around a lot.
So that is a little bit different. So we're going to get Rada, Kensumechi, Dani Yakitori for 5 Gaming, currently at 8th place. And it's going to be basically one of the bottom teams right now. Maybe just a little bit above Destination Gaming, but 5 Gaming hasn't looked the best. I don't think they're going to make the wild card, but this just a match to basically just play for your pride and to make sure you stay in as a competitive team here in Clash Royale League Asia.
It is possible, but they need 2 wins. They need 2 wins to make sure they have some chances. If they just have 1, they're not going to make it into the top.
And they need Opponent Sports to do bad, right?
I guess top 7. You could say that because they got 3 teams from each region and 4 teams with a wild card. So you have to be in, kind of like in top 7 to be in the wild card. And you just need, they can't just have 1. They need 2 at least, I would say.
Okay, and we're gonna see if that comes through. Kicks, I just want to continue on this trend of Southeast Asia winning games, and Kicks, they're just looking to be that other team that tries to get the job done, but you know, it's been a struggle for Kicks for the entire season, and hasn't really gone through. But Rene, new player here, and we haven't seen too much of this guy.
Yep, Lampo, he's the new rising star from the Southeast Asia. Actually came up against Expo Master.
Yep.
The day he came into the roster and defeated him 2-0. Of course, after with the ace match as a revenge, Expo Master did come on top. But he was playing really well. He was just defending just crisply every single time. We do have the bans.
And it's going to be a double legendary. Very true to the colors.
Oh, yes.
What we were getting from the preview. Going to get that Lava Hound along with the Infernal Dragon Outer. So Lampu versus Kensumeshi for the first game here. See where we're going to get it.
So it seems like we are going to head in with lots of the ground units. It is still possible to have the Minion Horn, which has been working as well as the balloon sometimes. Even better than the balloon sometimes.
I mean, without that, we might see a lot of Golem decks for the 1v1 here.
Oh, yes.
Could be a possibility.
Suddenly, we have 7 weeks of banning lots of the spells and the heavy golems. And week 8, we suddenly have all the kind of the weird ones. The uncommon bans for 1v1. The Log, Infernal Dragon, lots of Infernal Dragons today. And even the Lava Hound. So that 3-2 is all against Expo Master. Possibly the best 1v1 player from Korea.
Yeah, it's going to be picking out the win. It's going to be fine to do so in Lampo.
And he's really young. I believe 17 in age. And the best part was he was using an Expo against the Expo Master.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna kind of telling you something that is willing to actually go all the way, challenge the Master, and he did come on top in that matchup. So.
Yep. And see what that turns into, because Lampo, new addition, very much not seen too many times, but a few times that he was seen, looks very good for this team, and Kicks might just benefit quite off of him. And it's going to be up against Kensumeshi, though. Player that has played a lot of games, but not really necessarily turning into most of them being wins.
Lampe was just planning lots of balloons. Really concerned about the air units, even having the Lava Hound banned this time. Let's see if they actually bring their own beatdown. We haven't really seen too many beatdown.
Yeah,
only once or twice. 1v1 certainly.
Yeah, so that's going to be the one we get to see it in. Not in 2v2, but this 1v1, Lampa and Kensumeshi. We've seen the Expos, we've seen Lava Hounds, very much seen The Three Musketeers sometimes as well, but not many of the golems today. The beatdown decks have been pretty much non-existent. See if we can get to see it.
Yeah, a lot of results just came down to the mistakes. Most of the spells, not really the placement of the units, too many. Just having one spell mistake too early or a little bit too late is costing the players so much. Actually losing them the game. Best of 3, if you lose one game, it's a big effect for your entire team, not just by yourself. Thinking about the deck counters and just taking your chances. Might not be available right after because you drop 2, you're gone.
You are, and we saw drop 2 get out situation from Poland Sports in that last series, but Five Gaming, they want to pick the home ground advantage to their workings and see if they can get a win out of not necessarily the strongest team of Kicks, but anyone can do it on any day, and AHQ beat out Poland Sports, clean swept them, so out of that proposition, anything could happen here, and we're going to see if Kicks game. I think Kicks can do the same thing here with Lamp on the lineup.
Take a look what can Tsumeshi like to ban before. Flipping through my papers here as he was actually the one banning lots of the Lava Hound.
Okay.
So he will be pretty comfortable with this ban that Lampo has here.
Basically we'll know what to play, but it's going to be Lampo at the bottom for a Kicks team versus Five Gaming. Ken Tsumeshi throwing down the Golden Barrel to start us off. The log will be able to counter. Skeleton just cycling out. Will we get to see another Expo deck?
That's what I was thinking too.
Poison? That doesn't go into our Expo deck usually.
That was still possible.
Okay.
So even the last Expo deck that Lampo had was a little bit off the traditional Expo decks, I would say.
Traditional cycle does involve something else, but we're going to get the Giant. Now being played here, the Rascal. He's going to cycle back to the log already. That's a really quick cycle.
The Goblin Gangs came after the log, so luckily for Kezumeshi, was expecting that as well. Skeletons, not really the best counter, I would say, how to deal with the barrels.
Just have to use a Skeleton and the Zap. We'll be even in trade of elixirs, but not even in terms of damage because the Goblin Barrel will be able to swipe out a few stabs.
Oh, yeah, it is certainly not a perfect defense in terms of how much elixir you're spending.
But you need that log for the Rascals, don't you? You know, get that +3 elixir trade in contrary.
Yeah, that's exactly why we have this deck here. Just continuing in the ladder right now.
Okay. Seeing a mini P.E.K.K.A. being summoned out here, 4 elixir for this one.
Not really going to do too much against all these small units of goblins.
Very clean use of that log. He's going to have to use it against the Goblin Barrel this time around. But
Mini P.E.K.K.A. will be okay against the Rascals.
Yeah.
The Rascal boy in front. And so far that is kind of like the only one that I see. Even okay against the Princess, I guess.
Okay, we're going to see the Magic Archer do this work here. And
magically gone with the log.
Magically gone. Oh, we're going to see this one right here. They're going to use that once again. Skeleton Zap action to limit the damage, but still going to take a couple of damage from that. Minimum a little bit in front.
At least the minimum stabs, I would say. Lampo having that defensive, but the real problem is his own offense. He can't really, he's not really connecting any damage. The only source of his damage was the poison. That's it.
See the Princess being played up here, and what do you make out of it? Magic Archer taking care of the Princess first, and now going to go for the Rascals in the back.
Lampo wishes that Magic Archer is behind the Giant. Ooh, does not connect the Princess.
Okay.
It was close. If he brings it one more up, it activates the King Tower, so it was really hard, I would say.
Yeah. So very, very close on that one, and Lampo's still trying to get the job done, but trying to just use that Magic Archer efficiently, but in the end, you see the log coming out. Connected very well.
Princess still locked onto the tower, has to use the Zap. Late cycle.
And a late waste of elixir as well. That extra 2 elixir could go a long way. See the Giant now being summoned out. Magic Archer taking care of the Princess once again. Now gonna go for the Rascal girls in the back.
This is the push that Lampo was waiting for, possibly even having the Magic Archer lining up to hit the tower as well. But will come in time. And right now seems like the right time.
Okay. One more hit does come from the Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's gonna be fine to do the job, and Long is gonna be there to take care of the business there, and the Magic Archer once again targeting towards the Princess. Eventually has to, but
What is that Princess going down? Never? Let's see how long she survives as she's still shooting with the barrel.
Okay. The Long is not there for cycle, so I think it's still the chip damage out.
Finally does go down, but another Princess coming down, and this time connects with the poison. So well dealt with, I would say. Oh, charge.
Don't allow that charge because the right tower is the most important here, as everything has been put on the right side for Kentameshi, but a sneak. Bomber Bear on the left. It's going to be taken care of once again by the Long. Still just an endless cycle of pretty even trades throughout. That's girls trying to take care of the Giant.
Giant already took too much damage. You don't want to lose. Use your log for maybe no damage at all.
There you go. We're going to look at it here. Long taking care of the Rascal girls.
You do want to place the log perfectly so that it gets the Princess as well.
But on the right side this time, this is a problem because there's basically nothing for Lampo to go for here offensively. Let's go on the left here.
It's a change, but he may actually be looking to draw this game, as it is totally possible. Only 49 left on the clock for now.
Does have to stall the time. 1 minute, less than. I guess we get 40 seconds on the clock. We just go for the win here. The Giant being summoned on bridge once again. This Dark Prince though, how is going to take care of? Skeleton? Can't buy time forever.
Not just by itself, even has to use his app before the barrel.
Okay, nice log. But this Rascal in the back, it's being taken care of.
Take two hits from the Rascal girl.
Yeah, 20 seconds. I think he might be able to do it.
But still 4 digits.
Yeah, Kentsumeshi, he's looking very good right now, but you know, he might just run out of time and not have enough time to take care of this. 9 seconds. And we might just get the first draw in a 1v1 in a very long time here. Just might happen, G-Cliff.
That's going to be a tie between these two. I mean, Chiefs low cycles, even with against the Giant, the Rascals are just enough to defend sometimes.
There you go. A tie coming through. Lampo pushing it right back. Now we're going to go back to game 1. Just a repeat of what we just seen.
I wish we repeat the exact same deck for both players and see who comes on top.
Definitely in the regulation to make sure you get that done. Maybe able to come out with different decks with a new deck to make sure you want to defeat out your opponent. But you need to do that with a fresh new set of cards, or maybe just a mind game, just to bring out the same deck. Be all possible.
Lampo had the log and even the zap just to bring the ones down, and he kind of expected the barrel to come out. That's why he had the skeleton as well, because oftentimes a single log may not be enough, and a zap, of course, so certainly not enough for the barrel goblins.
We're going to see what happens. Kentsumeshi, he was on the front. It was looking like he was going to win with enough time allowed, but not enough time in the end, as we saw him drain out. Trying to attack both sides, but did go over to basically the game running out of time, and that will end in a draw for the game 1. Have to repeat game 1 and see what the two players can make out of it.
No heavy pushes. Yet to be done. Still possible though. Lava Hound out of there, so maybe we do want to think of that option. Without the Inferno Dragon, Golem would just push all in. They're waiting now.
They're just going to wait to a tie now for the second game? Nah, I mean they played out the first game, and they played a lot of games. Now we have to just wait.
No way.
The tie.
Joel, I'm always telling you, the viewers as well. You do want to test your opponent just in case he's on a phone call or something, or writing a text from someone else.
In a competitive match?
No. Just some advice for all the viewers playing ladder games.
Okay.
Because I ended up waiting for like 2+ minutes, and then the opponent did nothing. It was a long time ago, of course. And then I just thrown down something like the Bandit, the first cards. And then the opponent does nothing. And then I found out, okay, I just wasted 2 minutes. But of course, competitive.
He will not be on a phone call. Don't worry about that, guys. Just so you know. These minions, though, they're heading in. They're going to do some damage onto the tower, and that's going to be a huge start for Lampo as it's 70-74. Well, that free trade right there.
Charge deck from Lampo with the poison. Not really catching all the units, but not a bad trade, I would say. Has a Bandit as a defensive tool.
Great charge there. She gets all of it right there. He's going to just draw out the Bandit with that Royal Ghost. And
Kenzumeshi also did some damage with the first Royal Ghost. That's why it's down to 2100.
Let's see the defensive miner for Lampo, just to make sure that Royal Ghost does not do direct damage onto the tower.
Most of the time you use the poison. Ooh, just throwing down the log in the skeletons as well. I was about to say, most of the time you use the poison to get the tombstone and damage to the tower, but it was pretty low already, so using it after. Get that Ice Wizard as well. Very close to be going down.
We can see a Golem. I thought it was just a charge deck, but not actually, because Kenzumeshi had the Golem ready to go. See what he can do.
Stop the dash just in time. This Royal Ghost is actually quick enough to do the tower damage. This gets what's one.
How will this be stopped?
He's very old, but it doesn't have feet, so he can actually fly pretty fast.
Surprising that Lampo had the P.E.K.K.A ready to go, as if expecting the Golem to be played by Kenzumeshi, but let's see the Golem do a little bit of work. 14:27 on the count there, but 12:58.
P.E.K.K.A on the way, though.
Will this P.E.K.K.A make it? That's the important question. The Bandit is still taking out all the...
That's just through the log, going to the tower now. Okay. That's one, that's two.
See the Royal Ghost. Taking some damage. Got the tower down to 574. Stark Prince will be taken care of by the Electro Wizard. It's going to find Lucio. Bandit once again looking for a charge. He's going to get to the Ice Wizard and he's going to destroy that in time.
Oh, even the Miner locked on by the Musketeer.
Royal Ghost.
Ooh, gets in range.
That's going to be the poison to finish it off, and Kenzumeshi gets defeated. And talk about the Southeast Asia 1v1. If I remember correctly, they won all the 1v1s today. Can you confirm that for us? But I think it seems like, you know, everything has been going towards 1v1 in terms of Southeast Asia. I mean, started off with Brent Eastwood. Jai got the win against Amaterasu. AHQ Kangxi got the win against Fuji. And
yes, G-Clef confirms, yes.
Okay, and Lampo now wins against Kenzumeshi, man. Looking really good now.
Had one draw, but in terms of win, Lampo, look at that. Having the minions, it's really... You think minions don't really do too much damage unless it's a minion horde. Sometimes you just disrespect how much the minions could do actually to the tower.
Basically, it's the same thing. You just have 3 less. I mean, the same amount of damage, same amount of HP. It's all the same level 9 minions, but you just have 6 for the price of 5, and 3 for price of 3. Still does the same amount of damage. And you saw an example right there where it does so much damage on the tower if left alone.
That's exactly why I think Lampo won. If it was a minion horde, of course Kenzumeshi was going to use some spells on it, but it's just 3 minions. You would think that's not going to do too much. So I'm not really going to use too much of my own elixir. I'll just trade it for my own attack. But once you start losing because you think you can take it, but that was not the case for sure in game number 1.
Here you go, Lampo, after winning game 1 after a rematch, he's going to be coming back in the game 2, thinking he can do it again and get a clean victory for Kenzumeshi.
Spear
Goblin's going to be zapped that way. No damage done. Dark Goblin, anything to make sure you get a little bit of chip damage done.
Most of the time, Dark Goblin, unless it's tanked by something else, gets at least 2 damage to the tower.
Yep.
So that's actually some chip damage you can use. Maybe Lampo has a similar barrel deck. Maybe not with the Miner.
You can see a very nice defense for Kenzumeshi. Miner taken care of. Rascal Boy taken care of as well.
He was also trying to test if there's a tornado. Not going to be there for Kenzumeshi, having the log and the zap.
see the Musketeer now taking 1 damage towards Lampo's tower. Seeing the Barbarian hut. See what this turns into.
Slow Barbarians walking towards the tower. Oop, they're gone.
Okay, gonna see this here. See what we can get out of it, because we're gonna get Lampo. Gonna get pressured down, and these Barbarians are not really doing too much, but now with the help of the Rascals, see how far they can make it through.
Great value on that log as well. And Prince now has to go all the way to the back to deal with the Miner.
The Barbarians, though, they're still rushing in, but they're gonna get hit by the Prince one at a time. It's gonna go down.
Great defenses for both of the players. And now the Giant comes. Here we go. Kenzumeshi wants to push.
Mega Minion still there. Trying to get the push down, and the Rascal Boy and the Rascal Girl trying to do exactly the same. See the defense come to a very good halt as we get it down to 16:03 for the side of Lampo.
It's those small things. If that Dark Goblin was placed a pixel up, was going to be caught by the log. So understanding all the spells and the placement saved his defense.
See all in push there from Lampo onto the right side. Does not really connect to too much.
Just a single log. Rascals do come in time. Let's see how well he does this time.
Fireball
against this gigantic push.
See how this works out. See the Goblin.
Oh, the zap though. Gets charged, gets a few more hits, and that may be game.
That's gonna be once again until Kenzumeshi secures that and the zap to finish off the Goblin gang, and defense isn't there for Lampo, and you're gonna see this come to even at 1-1 now.
Still, that was game 3, but because of the game 1 draw, we will have one more game to decide the winner for the first set. Having very cheap cycles for both sides.
Yeah. I mean, we thought with the Infernal Dragon banned away, we thought we might just see maybe the Golem beatdown deck kind of being a factor there, and we saw Kenzumeshi try it in that rematch after that game 1, but really didn't connect to a win, and maybe just would have seen it in game 2, but really not the case, as we're going to go to game 3 to see what decks we're going to find out.
Oh, game 4.
Well, I mean, yes, it is game 4. But with game 1, a rematch of game 1, then game 2 and game 3, essentially, because you got one win each time, and now it's going to be game 3 to decide everything. But I see your point there. It's going to be the fourth game. It's going to be the fourth game.
Yeah, the last game, the Barbarian, I don't think it was too effective. I could see the idea where he's trying to just take the Princess Tower, locking down the Barbarian, because they actually take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Before they go down, and making sure your Miner does some damage or your spells to connect as well, but never really came in time, and Kenzumeshi just knew exactly how to deal against it.
And also try to be that Rascal Boy in front with the Barbarians in the back. Maybe if it goes slowly into that tower, then you could just basically have 2 melee Rascal Girls in the back doing so much damage, but never could have reached the tower. And that ended up being Lampo not winning out and eventually being carved down to 0 on that first tower. And that last bit, you know, with that Prince coming in with that Goblin game trying to use for defense, but didn't really connect. We're going to have that one last minute before we get onto the last match here to decide the winner.
Kind of surprised that no timeout has been called from either side. Yeah, you would expect maybe there are some chances for the timeout as well, because it's the final one for 1v1. Maybe they want to wait for that 2v2.
Yeah. Could be very important, but didn't come through this time. Maybe both teams want to just save for that 2v2 or even the ace match. If it does get there. For the time being, there's really a lot of difficulty in telling who the better team is right now, because in that game 1, after that rematch, Lampo looked a lot better than Kenzumeshi, but game 2, Kenzumeshi definitely had that game under control. So, out of the 1v1, it's already hard to tell, whether which team is better. But in this scenario, it's even harder to tell which one's the better player.
Yeah. It's even harder to predict what Lampo is going to do. His decks mostly were very uneven. Not really seen too much anywhere on top of the ladder or the Grand Challenge or from the players. He's switching out in and out. Lots of the cards that are not too many seen with the Rascals or even the Barrel. The combination seems a little weird, but he makes it work.
That will be him. See what they can do. Lampo on the game here and got that win off that rematch. Does not get the win in game 2 in Kensumeshi. Looking like he wants to secure it out now and see what he can get the rocket to destroy out the Goblin Hut. We're going to lose 1 elixir in trade. Definitely not going to mind that.
But he could just continue Zappies.
Shakes his head.
Does he have his own giant?
He nods as if he knows an answer to this particular situation. Get the poison down. Onto this end. It's going to allow just that 1 hit for the Princess Tower to get it down.
Only doing the poison damage. Does have the log against the barrel.
Lampo clean defense there. Just to get everything away. Royal Ghost.
So spell bait deck with the rocket for Kensumeshi.
Yeah. You see the Zappies. This time just focusing on the Rascal Boy first and going for the Rascal Girl second. It does a very good job. Maybe that's a new defense for Rascals.
It is possible, but they are very slow, and against the Princess, they're really weak in range. So I haven't really seen too many Zappies, but it's a great way of delaying all the attacks against anything.
I mean, look at where it did, though. You know, it just Zappies stood in front of the Rascal Boy, zapped it down to forever, basically just chipping it down. Then
yeah,
the Rascal Girls couldn't even finish the 3 Zappies in time, and with the help of the Princess Tower, works pretty well. So maybe some type of new defense that hasn't been figured out quite yet. Could work out. Let's see the Miner chipping the tower down to 1995.
And the Pekka drops against the Dark Prince.
Clean defense once again.
Lampo will start his walk towards the right side with the Royal Ghost as well. It's frozen for a second, but Poison gets the damage. Not the Princess on the left.
Let's see this here. Just trying to delay the Pekka from getting in to the tower. Zappies once again.
That's the barrel, and let's see. Does take care of the goblins as well. You look at that Princess just outranges them and does a lot of damage before they get to anything.
Yeah. Let's see a poison cycle here for Lampo. We can make out. Not even going to use a rocket this time around.
Perfect log.
Very nice log once again, and be limited to what he can make out of it because Rascal Girl still putting a lot of damage on it.
Are we potentially having another tie? I think that's totally possible. Kensumeshi.
But the poison cycle is there for Lampo along with that Miner.
Yes.
So eventually I think it would drop down to nothing, but we still have to wait to make sure we're sure of that.
Ooh, Zappies. Spear. Just one.
There it goes. Taking out all the goblins inside.
Lampo needs to connect that poison basically every single time from now on to bring down that tower.
Okay.
Not the best prediction with the Dark Prince. Miner did 200 damage almost.
Not with the help of the poison, of course, but let's see what happens. Lampo manhandling Kensumeshi. Kensumeshi needs something big here. Hopefully get out of
the
victory.
log and the barrel right after. The Zappies come just in time,
For
and that
defense.
tower's barely scratched. I mean, still has 2,000 plus.
See 2,230 and 2,183 for both towers of Lampo. He's been pretty much on solid for defense end. Now he just get one offensive thing right as he's still cycling the poison, but I can't last you forever.
Just making sure you do have that. Oh, even a spear goes down to 522. Totally possible with 2 plus few minor damage.
See the Zappies getting to work here. See the Pekka being chipped down.
See how Kensumeshi can't. He's really just defending, and every time he throws a barrel, that's his basically only winning condition, along with the rocket to finish. But that's not going to come in time. He does not even have enough elixirs to throw rockets a few times.
We get to it. The Pekka just mainly being used for defense, not going to be the most offensive strat. Because all they're going for really is that poison cycle, and 1 minute left on the clock. But we're not going to see this end down in another time. Might just be Lampo picking off the win.
Yeah, poison plus single damage. Does have the log, and all the other units Miner just chipping it down, and that's gonna be it.
That's it. Last one coming through, and Lampo gets the win over Kensumeshi. Keeps that trend going up 1v1 every single one of today's games. Going over to the Southeast Asian squad, following Brand Esports and HQ Kicks, along with Lampo getting the first set win onto themselves, and they're gonna go into set 2 looking very comfortable.
Took a long time. Took a very long time to finish off the set. It was starting off with a tie between the two. Lots of small cheap cycles, and very well done by both players. But Kensumeshi just not having that poison spell, I think it's a big one. It's really not a waste, but it's a big risk to throw down the rockets to do 400 plus damage all the time when you can actually. On the other side, Poison will also get the units for certainly.
Yeah.
Because you know when you drop it, you see the units and then you drop it after. But Rocket takes time to travel, so you can't really predict everything.
Yeah, and it's gonna be important because we saw Kicks right there off to a good start. That very much took a long time to get there, but eventually does win out that 1v1 with Lampo doing so well. But we're gonna be going on to QB2 and see if the other two guys can do the work against against FOV Gaming and see if they can pick up the victory here.
I know it's going to be an opposite time as Lampo just took the first set. Kicks still having a chance. This one, let's see where they exactly stand. 3-6. Going to be super tough for them to go up to 5. They can still make it in, but you do have to realize every single other team has to lose both of their matches for Kicks to actually be in the wild card. So they do have very small chance.
And there they are, and they need the wins. They need to collect them now, and you don't want to be too late on the occasion because barely making it to the wildcards will be the dream for FOV Gaming. But Kicks, I know they don't have much to play for. That's probably HQ and Brand Esports already secured their spot at the top of Southeast Asia. But I think just for pride and in preparation for the next season, I think Kicks will try to do their best to make sure they defeat out the Japanese team.
No, not yet. HQ actually standing in first for now. So they can come up, of course, very strongly. So 4-5. So Kicks can catch up to them.
Okay.
It's possible. Brand Esports, they were close, but lost against GameWit, so.
So we might actually see Brand Esports, if they do bad of a weekend, might just get CM knocked
Kicks
away.
can actually outrun them.
Okay.
If they win this one and the next one.
All right. So
that is also a possibility, but we do have to think about all the other teams as well, like like FOV Gaming and also Detonation Gaming, who's going to be playing tomorrow. They still have a lot of the chances.
Interesting stuff, because we always thought that Brand Esports and also obviously HQ doing so well for themselves, and just always seemed like the staple top 2 teams in Southeast Asia. But Kicks, if they do have something to play for, I should say, G-Cliff, I think it's really worth it to really mention it now, and let's see how far they can get, because beating out FOV Gaming will be a good indicator as to how much Kicks can get out of themselves.
Let's get the band cards, though. This is what we have been seeing for the last 7 weeks.
More conventional.
Rocket Tornado. Certainly a great band. Less spells to use, which basically means the golems are coming to bring down your towers. Rene only played one 2v2 with the Rock from his teammate.
And lost?
And lost 0-2, yes. Against GameWit.
But it was against a tough opponent.
Yes.
Still the best team in all of Japan and all of Royale League Asia. It's already waiting in the finals now. See what they can make out of it, but it's going to be teaming up with Dylan. 2v2. Won 6 games, but has lost 8 on his individual record.
Oh yes, Dylan, who was actually rising up pretty high, 1v1. 2 wins in a row in set, but after the third one against Shun, he has been dropping 3 straight right after. That's why he has some of 8 losses for his 1v1. But look at this. On the opposite side, Yakitori, 13-6.
Yakitori has done well for FOV Gaming. That's a lot of wins for a losing team. Because the FOV Gaming not having the winning record throughout the season, they're on a losing record. But with Yakitori being so reliable on 2v2, could just depend on them once again for FOV Gaming to defeat out Kicks.
Yakitori and Rad, they have been really good. Their win rate is actually amazing. But the team's main problem was 1v1. They're losing so many 1v1s that they can't really finish off. As said, they can always bring it to the ace match, but they will oftentimes lose. Their 2v2 is always strong with this duo. But let's see if they can bring this one back into the 2v2 and go all the way into the ace match, which will still be a problem for them.
Yeah, because they have to be really good at that 1v1 compartment, but hasn't really proved so throughout the season. We're still in week 8, the final week of conference division before we get on to the wild cards and eventually to the playoffs. It will be interesting because we don't know, how good the 1v1 game for 5 Gaming can be, but you need to start showing us now. But 2v2 is going to be on before.
They tried using Oz, Yakitori, Donnie for 1v1s, but they all lost 0-2. A great trend there, and the only wins really coming down from Rad a few times, but he's in 2v2, so he can't be in the first 1v1. So Kenzumeshi is the only one, basically, who did not secure the win for the team as well. So they start this 2v2 in a disadvantage again. And they really need to have this win for sure. Ace match is waiting, but may never get there. As Dylan Rene, I can't really predict what's going to happen for Rene because he didn't really play too much, but we'll see.
We're going to see how this game unfolds here. Dylan and Rene ready to play against Rad and Yakitori. Successful duo for 5 Gaming throughout the season, and they're at it once again. See what Kicks can do. Starting out with the zap, cycling through. Tombstone for the side of Rad and Yakitori. Lava Hound starts off.
Big air units popping off. Front Dragon all the way in the back. Ooh, balloon. Rage expecting this.
How much defense do they have for this?
They do have a lightning
there,
to bring the balloon down.
Yeah, no damage done there, and really about 2253, 2208. Lava Hound on the other hand, does little damage as well.
Yeah, after the poison, it will be about even, having another major push with the Lava Hound. Again, for Cloud Gaming, guards will not really help too much, and just to delay the back line of attack.
That's important. The Lava Pups are going to be out of here. The
Arrows!
So good against the Lava Hound.
Zap just in time to get the Mega Minion because it was going to get one swing.
This allowed the Infernal Dragon to connect for just a second, but it's not going to be too troubling as 1908 is count for Rene and Dylan.
Hounds are on their way.
The Infernal Dragon pushing at the side of Lava Game. Just a little bit faster there, but both Lava Loons on play here.
A slower balloon placed on towards the center.
Okay, let's see
the
a
right
double Infernal Dragon.
Lightning Spell is totally available, but not even needed with the Mega Minion taking him down.
We're going to see how this unfolds here. Both of the teams not doing the best for now. No real damage coming through other than Rene and Dylan taking about 1,000 damage or so. Might be reacting to all the defense there.
They want to play something before the Infernal Dragon locks onto the tower. This minions, enough for the damage.
See how it works out.
The Mega Minion hiding behind that Lava. Okay, does reveal himself now. Double the Lava Hound for both teams. Early Infernal Dragon locked up for Foul.
Okay, you're going to see a balloon being played out here. The Lightning not going to target out the entire Lava Hound army, and will be enough to take down the first tower. That's not going to be a problem for now. And what happens to the other side now is going to be important as Rene Dylan just tries to go for it all. If they can't get it on this one, it's going to be trouble for the side of Southeast Asia.
Arrow also activating the King Tower. That's what happens to me all the time, but the balloon is going directly. There's a freeze to stop all the attack, and looks like Valve Gaming, they've got their 2v2 once again.
There you go. Rad and Yakitori looked so good throughout the season, and just another breeze once again. Basically the same composition in terms of the deck choices, but it's going to go over to Rad and Yakitori, getting another win on the books.
Yeah, massive arrow spells to take a lot of the small units down, but mostly focusing onto the air. And you should be waiting. Yeah, you should be just waiting for the time against the pups to throw down those arrows. That is the perfect time. But against lots of the guards, which just takes down the shield, they still survive. So the Infernal Dragon from Kicks didn't really do their job as much.
Yeah.
In Valve Gaming, they already had their Lava Hound pushing along with their Inferno Dragon even before the defense came in. So without the rocket, Lightning Spell was the only option, but it's very heavy, you know, and sometimes when there are lots of units, it may not go to the perfect unit that you want.
That will be Kick's team. You know, had to call time after that loss, and feel like they need just a group chat together and be sure they're ready to go for this next game, because Dylan and Rene, it looked like they were gonna do pretty well, but a pretty evenly composed deck across both sides. Just couldn't get a win against Rad and Yakitori, but here at it once again, just an additional minute for them to think about things and make sure they get ready for game number 2 so they can hopefully take out a victory.
Lightning also does quite a lot of damage to the tower. Almost 300, 293. But they're also connected like, at the beginning, hitting down Lava Hound, Balloon, and the tower. Perfect 3 to hit with.
Yeah, and you're gonna get 37 more seconds for Dylan and Rene. Wonder if they had enough time to make sure they get ready for this one, because Rad and Yakitori looking just as good as ever. Probably wants to finish out in a 2-game series. Let's make sure they go to the ace match and give themselves another chance. But Kick's team looking so good on 1v1. Wouldn't mind that, but probably would want to win out 2v2 and not go to the ace match. Would be their preferable choice.
Wasn't too bad for Kicks as well. I think they just did not have the perfect spell against a massive push. Maybe on having double the Inferno Dragon as a cycle could have worked a lot better against the lava push. Still could just be ground, as we just have Rocket Tornado Ban, the Golem, Giant, P.E.K.K.A. Everything's available there.
Yeah, it's surprising that we didn't see a Golem deck in that game number 1. Only to the second game now. Could be the one to decide the 2v2 here for Rad and Yakitori if they get another win. So might be the Japanese strats here. Gotta be on both sides, just cheeky there, and gonna be in the front.
Cards a little misplaced.
It's a little bit hard to predict on that one. You would just think that was gonna be exactly the same.
Even if you just do not know exactly, oftentimes it is just on the tower, having 3 split. And if you just place the guards up in front, it gets at least 2 of the goblins. So that's, if you don't know exactly, that's probably the best placement you can have.
Yep, that's going to be important. Double Lava Hound. This is going to be the all-in push for Rad and Yakitori. It feels like they have the confidence to get this one done. And
follow the witch spell, the poison just taking out all the girls and the goblins. Still the Lava Hound. The second one is pretty healthy.
Okay, and even the Lava Loon push. And uh-oh, I don't think it's the time to throw down. Oh, that Goblin Barrel, and that's going to be them losing out. And the second drop does come through. You have to think about defending against the balloon there. And a little bit too late there, and double. Dark Goblin goes down to the explosion damage.
They have a deck where they are really concerned about lots of the small units, like even the Princess having the Dark Goblin. That's the time you need the Inferno. Maybe even bring out an Inferno Tower, as we saw already from one of the 2v2s tonight.
But if they have it though, that's the biggest question, because we're looking at Rene and Dylan focus so much on this Goblin Barrel strat, and if it doesn't work out, that's going to be them hitting themselves on the head. And
and 5, they have the best spell against these small units, the poison. Waiting for the time.
You see a double Lava Hound once again. To the side of Rad and Yakitori. See how far this gets.
Look at how many units the poison is just leading out with the damage.
Let's see the poke away. 456 on the right tower. Let's see another Goblin Barrel being placed here once again. Oh, this one not defended. Okay.
Because their push on the left was not so successful. They wanted to wait for the next push.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice right there. As eventually gonna get this left side push being all in here.
Inferno Dragon.
Oh, look at that maximum value poison, taking out 4 Rascal Girls in the back end. It's Infernal Dragons. How far can these get? Because Dark Goblin doing a very good job now, taking care of all the clearance.
Oh yes, certainly. They
Lava
spread Ooh, Balloon just looking for some lucky
Tombstone,
shots here.
Very nicely done there. It's just going to target the King Star. That's exactly what you don't want.
late
And the
freeze.
wrong freeze by Random Yakitori. This might be trouble as the Goblin Barrel is still doing a lot of work in time. And 3 minutes of overtime.
Actually, do not like these plays. I know they're desperate to finish off the game, but they're just throwing down everything. It looks very uncalculated, but doing some damage. Connects, actually.
Yeah, 236 onto
And that's
the
going to be it.
poison. And the log, and that will be 71 down to 45. And just another log for good measure. It was going to bring it down anyway, but Ren and Dylan come back in this one. Now it's going to tie it up 1-1 as we get into game 3.
I know you're desperate to win, to drop down as fast as you can as soon as you have the right amount of elixirs for your card. But sometimes that ends up costing you the game because once that is defended, unless it's calculated perfectly for your own spells, once that is defended perfectly, it may just be the push right after, the counter push, that can actually finish the game. And your opponent did have some balloon as well.
Yeah,
that was very risky, I would say.
Off Gaming, I mean, after winning that game 1, they thought they were in the clear to get the game 2 action on their favor, but not even going to call timeout because this could be a match point. They lose out this one. 1v1 going over to Kicks, also 2v2 going over to Kicks. Will end out the series without Rad and Yokitori to really argue about anything because they won't even get a next chance to play the ace match.
And they're trusting in their teammates. Look at that. Not even using their timeout when they are on the last rope. About to fall down.
Pretty much right. On that
all the way to Arena 1.
No,
no. no. You never want to go there.
This isn't
never ever.
This isn't getting over it. You know, you don't have to go back to the earlier parts of that game and just think of the Clash Royale is not about that. Going down to Arena 1, you don't want to do that.
I don't even remember my Arena 1. It's been such a long time.
I started at my second account on Android. You know, I always play on my iOS, but starting an Android account, having fun with that as well in the lower tier, trying to level that up. But, you know, who won't be going now? It's not going to be Final Gaming. If they lose this one, they will come out with a loss, and Kicks team, they'll be very happy getting out a 2v2 victory that will secure out a series win. And see if they can get it done. They're going to be on this match point here.
Rena just praying for the possible best outcome for themselves. For now, they'll wait. On the Zap, seems like we have a game here.
See the Tombstone being planted out, along with the Lava Hound. But 2 Infernal Dragons now being placed here. What are they going to make out of this?
Oh, Giant Skeleton.
Some Giant Skeleton here.
I was waiting for, what are they going to push with? It's going to be Giant Skeleton, but Poison. 3 damage to both dragons.
Okay, Mega Man in. It's still there. Just trying to wipe out.
They're pretty low and slow enough for the Princess Tower to just take him out.
Double Infernal Dragon for the opposite side. So you see Lava Balloon being summoned with the Rage.
This is the same one for Fab. Balloon slowly walking towards it. Mega Minion does not lock onto Balloon. It is the Lava Hound that's taking the damage.
1 drop, 2 drops. Get a 3rd one, but almost.
With the explosion, it will 4.
And that one's gone over with. Just 1 zap would take care of that one.
Uh-huh.
Even arrows would take care of that one.
Skeleton. A single skeleton. Ice Spirit.
Ice Spirit, yeah, that's a good one to take out 4 damage.
Because Ice Spirit, if left alone, will jump to the tower.
There you go. Zap. Just getting onto it. And Rana Yokotori. They're already on the front here, and they're just trying to push the charge onto the left side now, as the right side is basically just cleared off now.
But Kicks with the Giant Skeleton already onto the right, and pretty much damaged onto the right tower as well. They want to make sure they do some damage. Minor comes. Not really dealt with as Bob. They're looking for the 2nd tower on the left. They want to trade. Better with the balloon, the minion horde.
Hey, the minion horde is right there, though. They're going to try to take care of the balloons, but the arrows come through, and I can see the balloon just being of a menace, and it's going to eventually go down, but the right side, what? Where did that come from?
It did go down from all the damage.
Okay, the freeze, though, they have nothing for it, but the zap
just
in time.
But still 220, that's pretty low.
Hey.
Almost, well, it's not in fireball range, but it drops down to lower than 20 with a fireball.
Okay, I didn't even look at the right side as it went down. Now it's kind of even, but 220 is a big opposition that you have to overcome.
Spending everything on this offense with small units and the guards not being in place.
And you'll see this explode up here. Not going to get anything else, but see here.
Was expecting a minion horde, but misprediction there, but
Mega
the
minion,
Mega
Mega
Minions.
Minion, Mega Minion.
Oh,
it's
disconnect
gonna
with the rage.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. There's no coming back from here. 2062. You're going to be frozen up for Ceremony, and Random Yakitori keeps their winning records up and still goes on this very nice rounds and going to bring this on to an ace match as FOV Gaming picks up the victory in
Let's
set number 2.
go to the ace match. A little early to celebrate, I would say, because they're having possibly the worst ace match over and over. It's still possible, Kenzumeshi, because it was close and they're 1v1. 2v2.
And there he goes. Just got to get FOV Gaming into the winning ends here and going to go to the ace match. Decide who's going to bring out, because Rauden Yakitori looked very good on that 2v2. I wonder if one of those two players will come out and try to win out this 1v1.
Just in case of everything going bad for themselves, they also had the freeze, which was not used until the last moment.
Yeah.
If the balloon was going to be going down, but oftentimes little small mistakes of kicks. A lot of the times, Mega Minion was not placed on the perfect spot to target down the balloon. Instead, it was hitting the lava hound, which was a big problem onto the initial push for the right bottom side. Sometimes those one small things will let the balloon go straight to the tower and just bring the tower down.
It's going to be our second ace match of our night. Got the first one with Bren Esports and Game With eventually winning out with Shun coming up to the stands. And that's when you know you need the big players to step up and be on that front stage trying to represent your team. And FOV Gaming definitely needs that after losing set 1. They did win out set 2 with Rauden Yakitori, but I wonder if one of those two players will come out for this ace match.
It's kind of in an awkward spot for FOV Gaming to... You have to, not just picking your own player, you have to predict who's going to come up from the other side as well. But Dylan, of course, used to be the ace player. And even Lampo coming into the roster, he was pretty strong in match 1. But Rene, who also played for the 2v2, he has no record on his 1v1, so you never know what's going to happen if Rene comes up for that 1v1. So FOV Gaming, they really have to choose, and they have lack of choices compared to what Kicks can actually do for the ace match.
Yeah, I think Lampo did very well on that set 1 and did beat out Kensumeshi. But, it's going to be about Dylan and Rene. Will they have a chance to represent Kicks for the ace match? And still at 20 seconds before the teams have to decide who their main character is going to be, who their main hero for the team is going to be. They're not doing rock, paper, scissors, though.
Is it Rene? He's about to take his... Oh, he's just hot. Okay. He was like, I will be ready taking my jacket. No, I'm just warm.
It's just hot in here. Well, thank goodness it's not hot in our studio here. And just
yeah, full of AC.
There you go. We get all the temperature control we like.
I know, but the environment right there, it gets all tense and heated up with all the fierce competition between these two teams, of course.
I wonder who's going to play. It's really interesting to see who's going to be rising to the occasion for Kicks and FOV Gaming. Seems that they're tucking it over, but the decision has to be made now. And Lampo played very well, but Dylan Rene could be up in the match as well. So who's going to be standing up here? Is it going to be Kensumeshi?
We'll see.
He's kind of nodding his head just a little bit. The camera now is on Lampo.
With the Like Pirates of the Caribbean song.
Kensumeshi?
Lampo and Rad.
Lampo and Rad, okay. How do you think of this matchup?
Okay, after Kenzumeshi, he's the one that played 4 games. So compared to the other ones, like Yakitori, who only played once. And it was against Megabuya, so it's kind of forgiving in a way. Not really standing in the best. In terms of his record, 2v2 certainly, 1v1, 5-1 and 5. So against this new player, Lampo, Kicks really putting down responsibility for this young new player for the team.
I mean, he's done well. I mean, you don't care about age, don't care about experience. As long as he does well, you want the results to come your way. And Kicks, they think that Lampo is the player to bring out the goods and bring out the wins. And
oh, he set the bad cards. What is it?
Okay, we'll find out. It's gonna give some time for both players, Lampo and also Rad, to decide the ban card for this last 1v1 for the ace match.
You have to think, as such young age, sometimes the stage nerves can get you. And we see a lot of these players actually like shaking their hands on their device and mispositioning, misplacing some spells because they're choking on the stage so much. It's been weeks playing. Yeah, Lampo was one of the new ones coming into Clash Royale League Asia. It seems like he's super confident though.
Not doing too much of the frills and too much of the shaking there. And see what ban card he decides to go with. And mortar ban. Are you serious, Brad? Come on. Brad is gonna ban out the mortar, guys, and the Lava Hound ban for the side of Lampo.
I don't think it's a bad one because Lampo was using from time to time about 50, a little higher, lots of Rascals. So against the Rascals, it is also okay. You won't really expect too much of the mortal. But it was certainly a possibility, and maybe Rad just has something against that doesn't really work as well. So he just decides to ban that common card.
Would have been a level 9 mortar. As we know, just leave it alone and it will do forever damage infinitely. And kind of unlike the Princess, that does a lot more damage per round. Yeah. Just means that you just can't knock it away with a log or anything like that. You have to get it to go away, but
against the slow units, it's pretty effective and taking down Rascal girls. Not just the girls, the goblins. Goblins actually Mortal misses a lot against the goblins because they move so fast. Yeah.
Look at Lampo now. I mean, he now has a decent number of games played. 5 wins, 1 tie, and 3 losses. Still on a winning record, and even with that tie, he came back strong. Happened today versus Kensumeshi, and now his next opponent being Rad. Let's see what he go up against.
Did explain this already. 57. Well, that's 2v2. Haven't really been seeing his 1v1 for a long time.
5 win, 1 tie, and 5 losses. See what Rad can do against this Lampo player who has done so well in set 1 to beat out his ally Kensumeshi.
Final one for that Rad play in 1v1 was against the HQ. Shake lost 0-2, but that was weeks ago. And he hasn't been playing since. It was mostly Kensumeshi taking just going against lots of the Korean teams.
Still using this 3 minutes. Decide what we're gonna get out of it. Rad still has a timeout to use in later matches. If he wants to use it.
Yeah, it seems like, sorry to cut you off there. So it seems like Lampo really likes the cheap cycle with lots of Rascals and barrels.
Yeah.
And how to deal against it? It is bringing your own poison and making sure you at least have 2, or maybe even consider having 3 spells.
But remember, he did use that Sappy along with the P.E.K.K.A. Just everything in play, making good use out of it. But we're gonna see him playing a lot of variety cards on Lampo, and seen him play pretty much Expo. All the options are out there for this player. Young player is trying to make a stride into Clash Royale League Asia. Has done a good debut so far.
Expo's not a bad option, I would say, against Rad, who doesn't really consider lots of dashing units or even the charge. And Lampo did play it on Expo against the Expo Master, so still an option.
Gonna get to it and see what can make him out of it. Rad just getting ready. The timer now going out, and him and Lampo. What decks are gonna go with? That's the biggest question we're throwing up right now. We're gonna find out in a couple of seconds here.
Comes down to the final ace match, last setup of the day. And so far, 1-1 between Japan and Southeast Asia. But a lot more dominance from HQ against Pono Sports, so very competitive in match 1 and 3.
Yeah. We're gonna see what happens. They're both ready to go. Lampo and Red. Kicks team versus Five Gaming for the decider match here. Set number 3, the ace match between these two sides to who gets the victory.
We will see. What is it going to be?
It's gonna stall it out for now, and
not deploying anything.
Who's gonna break the silence?
Tesla Expo. Let's go.
Definitely will be countered.
Oh, minor.
Minor in the back choice. This time it's going to be banned out. Trying to be countered with that Musketeer. It's going to limit out the damage to 2278.
Even using the zap because the Musketeer was just dealing with the bats. Skeleton Barrel.
Along with the Goblin Gang, how they can take care of this?
Similar
Oh,
spell bait deck.
but the Prince is not the right type of thing to get done with it, and he's gonna miss some skeletons. That log wasn't the best one to come through.
3 digits. Even the minor landing so many hits.
630, and that is a mistake when it comes to what you were supposed to do there.
Zap down, push with the Prince, but so many goblins available for Lampo. He can stop Prince all day long.
He's got Goblin Gang also, I think.
Ooh, gets the charge.
Okay, we get one hit on that as well. So he's being pushed out. Skeleton Barrel. Put down. Allow the skeletons to not do the damage, and the defense there. 496 on the board and 1347 for Lampo.
So many goblins and less than 500, even without the spells, because Lampo has the minor. It was going to be going down anyhow, so Rad decides to give up.
Now Rad has to go all in on one side. I don't think it's going to be the left because he's already invested so much onto the right.
Oh, Inferno also locks onto the Golem because it was the Mega Minion was stalled by the bats.
Even with the zap, stopping the Inferno Dragon midway, it's still going to get decent defense onto it, and an 869. Now the attack onto the left for Lampo.
Only 2 hits, 2 punches, but defensive moves from Lampo again. Oh, Prince surrounded by the skeleton. A little late of a log, I would say.
Prince is going to be heavily damaged. Will probably not reach the tower in time, and Bat is ready to go. And Giant once again on the right side has made the defense count for Lampo.
Connects to the Giant once again. A zap to reset. Still so many goblins to take care of that Giant, not really getting any hit. Only the fireball doing the damage.
The Giant not going to get a single hit. That would have been crucial, doing about a couple of hundred. Would have helped out so much, but
17 seconds. What can he do to make this Giant is way too slow?
Prince Giant. Prince is going to speed things
Oh,
up, but
the
the Mega Knight!
That's going to be securing
Okay,
the win for himself.
Oh, but it's
Another
going to get
punch.
pretty close. 363. But that's going to be it. Firebolt will not get the job done, and Rad very close, but that first mistake with the log that didn't get all the skeletons from the barrel, that's going to do the heavy damage for Lampo to win game 1.
Having these cheap cycle decks just force mistakes from the opponent because you end up using a lot of the cards. You have to predict where it's going to be, the placement. And ooh, the coach is certainly not too happy about that first game. They do call their timeout. They were waiting for this moment. They were saving that for 2v2. They almost lost, but brought it back for game 3, having that trust. But comes down to this final one. Match point for Kick's team.
The team of Kick's team looking very happy now after that game 1 victory, thinking you can do it again in game 2. It's one more game win that will secure the W for Kick over 5 games. That would be Southeast Asia. Wins 2 games in a row. We talked about HQ beating out opponent sports, and Kicks can do it against 5 games. That would be kind of an upset. That's to our expectations for Japan for today's specific matches.
Even with the charge from the Prince, which does tons of damage, over 600 damage. There's an argument that because charge dashes, it's always double the damage of the usual one, but his normal hit will do 325. But if you double it, it's not 650, it's 651. Where does that one come from?
I mean,
is it magic?
It could have been 325.5, but they rounded
like 0.3, so it doubles
and it becomes
rounds up.
0.6, and it rounds up. You answered your own question, G-Cliff.
Are we going to have decimal points?
No.
Like you have a tower left with 0.1.
You know, we need to allow our 2nd graders and our 3rd graders to play this game, and they don't work with decimals right now.
Oh yes, that's pretty hard.
I remember learning decimals back in middle school. I didn't learn it in elementary. I think so.
What era did you live in? Like
yeah, if I remember, you know, NA elementary
Joseon
school.
Dynasty.
I mean, NA elementary school. That's where I went to. You know, like North America.
Oh yes.
I don't think I've learned decimals until I got to middle school. I went to middle school about 5th grade.
I learned math after learning calculators, so.
You learned calculators?
First, and then I learned math. That's an A math, basically.
It's too late of a night to have math
I know,
jokes.
you know
like
what
that.
your math teacher always does cringe joke like,
I know.
your calculator is your best friend. Always bring him with you. Always putting him on your desk and your backpack
The calculator
and your
can't be
binders.
the calculator can't be your friend. It's not alive. But you know who is alive?
You just killed my dream. Thanks.
Lampo and Red. They're alive.
Yes.
They're alive to play, and they're gonna be up to really see if Lampo's gonna get the game 2 victory. Because for now, Rad is looking good for the first few moments there, but otherwise, Lampo got what it took to get the game victory there. Again, Skeleton Barrel. This is a crucial one because just a one spell mistake.
Oh, those have the baby dragon, okay. Great counter against all the skeletons.
Just making sure you don't make any mistakes
Oh,
on
yes.
spells. And it guarantees that you get all the skeletons.
Oh,
in time.
graveyard.
With the baby dragon, this makes it really tough actually, but the Infernal Dragon is right there.
Even the tornado spent.
No direct defense though, that's the problem. And 15-30 for Lampo as basically he didn't have a counter for that graveyard coming in.
Not bad for Rad, but now Lampo does know that will be the case.
Look at this, I mean look at Lampo, of course he has one unrevealed card, but Spear Goblin, Goblin Gang? Other than the Goblin Gang, there's not really a true counter. Bat maybe.
Bat maybe, but the tornado was used to bring down those small units.
Yeah.
Could just continue to have that trend. So Lampo does need to find the card to counter against the graveyard.
That will be a 8 elixir used to try to get maximum value out of there. Look at this though.
Oh, the
Mega Knight
Knight.
in the end.
Yes, but the baby dragon, you never want. Even the skeletons. Okay, just do a little bit damage.
Mega Knight.
Slowing the jump in the slow motion.
Hey.
A tornado drags it in.
Great play there, just dragging the Mega Knight into the center of the field with the Ice Wizard, then pulling it in with the tornado. Perfect positioning there. See how this works out. Can he get the spells right on this one? He doesn't really need it. It's funny how Rad is not relying on his spell skills anymore because he's just putting the dark.
Buying time for the
Dark
graveyard.
Prince. There you go.
That's his win condition, and even the poison for himself.
Yeah, that's a 9 elixir use just for this trade, and see how much you can get out of it. Actually doesn't get too much.
Does some damage also gets all the goblins, so I would say it's not a bad trade, you know.
But for 9 elixirs, I think you expected a little bit more there. We're gonna find out how this actually turns into play, but
charges in
Dark
to
Prince.
the tower. This may actually be more damage onto the left side.
13-17 on the left though. See how this connects up.
Lampo only focusing on the left. Great log.
Good log, but not being decisive into Lampo on what he wants to do. Second Infernal Dragon here, and get out of it because you see the Ice Wizard trying to do its job.
This tower is chipping down from the poison, and Lampo needs to secure some damage with the Miner. That's his winning condition. Mega Knight will unlikely connect to the tower.
See another one here.
Graveyard.
With the Mega Knight. You can see the true counter here as
so the Goblin takes down the Skeletons, connecting few. Bats just enough to take down the Skeletons.
Still very healthy on the side of Rat though. We're going to see anything significant here because Mega Knight can't just reach anywhere close to the tower, and the Skeleton Barrel, this might be the one, but the tornado is away. Let's see the chip away.
The King Tower is helping so much of defense against the Skeletons.
Yeah.
And even the Miner was surrounded by the Skeletons from the Tombstone, so Rat having a great time defending all that.
Let's see how this works out. Still gonna see it here. Lampo just trying to strike all he can.
Rat just has to choose a side, as he does have log and the poison, which Lampo does not. So.
See the Mega Knight is taking care of the Dark Prince on the right, but the left side still going for it here as
can slow the attack down so much with the Ice Wizard and the Tornado.
Ice Wizard, the Baby Dragon, all of these are such good counters.
He's finding, Rat is finding no time for his own poison though. He's trying to save up for the next graveyard, maybe looking for the finish.
This is important here, and see what he can get out of the Miner with the bat. Still being played up to par. So we get to this. Mega Knight back in the cycle once again. This is going to be the 9 elixir used, most likely. And still not going to be used here. Now finally the poison
and
proc.
a few more damage from the skeleton will just be game.
239, 205, 178, 151, 124. And
so down
one
to
more poison.
Yeah, down to one more poison.
And it's definitely going to get it within a minute. So unless we see a crazy comeback from Lampa, I think Rad has got this one.
Lampa does not have anything crazy fast of a push like the balloon that goes directly. So that's going to be it.
Yeah, Rad is going to be able to do it.
Up for the 10th game for match 3.
So that's going to be the tick that was needed for Rad to get into us to game 3. And now it is all even. Kicks and 5 gaming. Anyone can take it now with Lampo. Looking like he was going to be the hot rookie. Just going forward, trying to get the wins for his team. But it seems Rad is proving to be a difficult opponent. As now it's pulled back to even.
Even our cameraman from Japan says this is crazy. We're going all the way.
He went all the way.
I know.
I don't like him going all the way sometimes. Please don't go all the way, you know. We need you guys here.
He was panicking for a second. I mean, like, what's happening? Who's going to win?
The camera motion was literally going left and right, saying, this is crazy. And that's what the motion was saying.
Timeouts, all the timeout has been called. And there was even a draw for the very first one. 1-1 tie for the ace match. And these two teams, they both need... They're desperate for a win right now as final week.
This has been a long series, G-Clef.
This entire night, yes. Not just a series. And
we're currently 3 hours and 6 minutes into our current broadcast, and we're on to our last game.
I love it.
It's a long, long day of games, but we need it because we need to decide which teams are better than the other on the day.
So many good games, and it comes down to the final one, though. Lampo playing this many games in one match?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's on his 7th game on the day, and
can't lose your concentration. It is the final game for yourself.
I mean, we know that when we play our regular casual Clash games, 7 games is not much of a struggle, but competitively, you want to have to play 7 games in one night. It's a lot of stress being put on you,
and there's the pressure from your teammates watching your back.
It is. But now it's going to be about these two players holding it out. Breaking the silence is going to be Rad with the Giant.
Just the double prince. We'll see.
See the elixir collector being planted here.
Maybe with Giant with the musketeers.
Ah, this is coming from set 1 with Lampo putting out the zappies.
The poison already placed, but the minion horde.
Minion horde is going to take care.
It will be quite delayed though from the zappies and all the tombstones, but the real one is the battle ram.
The battle ram, how's this going to get taken care of? The Mega Minion is a little bit late. Oh, but just in time. The last arrow coming in for the Princess Tower is going to get the job done, but this is the big problem here.
The Barbarians actually do quite a lot of damage.
1739 on the count for Lampo's Tower on the right. Lampo couldn't do anything for the first minute here, and gonna see Ran on the winning end for now.
Do like the spear change. Just used to do 50 damage, but it's a lot more. I think it's 67 per hit now.
Yeah.
A graveyard from Lampo this time.
Let's see all in. See what he can do with this 5 elixirs. And of course, the mini horde doing a very good job.
Poison taking down the horde and
taking
down the collector as well. So
good, great value.
Can't be better. Well, can't always be better, but that was pretty good.
8 divided by 12 could have been better. We're still tracking back to that moment.
Hey, I need my calculator.
There you go. It's your best friend, supposedly, even though it has no soul.
TI-83 Plus.
Woo!
The silver edition.
Hey, I was back in the TI-84 edition. That's my gig, and man, you're traveling us back to time now.
But you do understand. That's the thing. Bats already placed. Minion horde.
Hey, we're gonna see a 9 elixir being put out, but 5 on the side of the graveyard.
So it did take some graveyard damage as well.
Look at this. 3 musketeers on the side of Rakitori. See what he can get out of it. 946 on the right tower. Zappies now trying to get the job done.
Down to his 15 seconds. So he's attacking to the left lane, which has more HP.
But look at the battle ram coming in there.
He's trying to get
the charge. 1247.
The real problem is the minion horde, but the poison in perfect place.
Very nice.
We'll take all of them down together.
Hey, look at this. But the two Musketeers in the back, they're doing a lot of damage.
Connects the damage to direct to the
292.
tower.
That's going to be it. And Rad is going to rely on the three Musketeers. Of course, a fan favorite from always from Japan. And very nicely used in the end in that double elixir time. And Rad gets that victory for 5 Gaming. And in the end, after losing on set 1, barely winning on set 2, and looking like he was going to lose set 3, comes back to win out now, and Rad shows you why he's the veteran, being relied so much upon by this team of 5 Game, but now they're going to be back to win out a game. We're going to hear from them in the interview.
Oh, yes. Lampo, he did have enough elixir to drop down the Goblin Gang, playing 7 games in a row. Maybe that affected 0.1 second of his reflection time on that, because the real problem for 3 Musketeers is that you have to defend both sides at the same time. It's really tough. He defended he couldn't even stop the charge from the battle ram, so the right side was a problem. It went down eventually, but the real push from the Giant and the Musketeers before the Goblin Gang from Lampo got deployed. It connected to the tower, and that's why it had over 1,000 health point on the tower.
I really did, but 2,000 plus on that left tower, which eventually went down. Well, you would think that, Lampo probably would have thought that, he's going to go for the tower that has less HP. It makes sense. And he thought that would have been the choice and spent so much to get the defense down. But when you have 2 Musketeers free to shoot fire and the Giant is taking in front of you, man, the damage is going to be done. And saw an example of it right there.
Those 3 ladies slowly marching down. You will see very soon. I wish we get to see all the way till the end. I think we really deserve the replay for the final moment.
1739 on the right and 2,333, if I can see that correctly.
The push from the right side, even the minion horde having the poison use.
I mean, the poison made sense. The right tower would have went down if he didn't use it with the minion horde.
Look at that. He has enough elixirs to drop down the zappies, but second too late.
Yeah. It's a little bit difficult when you're in that situation, but Rad picking up the win. We're going to go to 5 Gaming for this interview.
Coach, congratulations. Thank you. How was the game? For the wild card. We were fighting hard for the wild card, and the third set, I was considering who to put. And I'm very thankful that Rad was able to win. And it's a very big win for us. Was there a purpose? Well, Rad was very alive when I was choosing. Danny, how was the game for watching from behind? Yeah, we have a great team and I believe in them. Rampo player, how did you feel watching him play? He's very strong, but I knew Rad was going to win for us. Kensumeshi? The first set was a very tough fight. The bank card was very tough on me. And I learned that I should play more decks and would be prepared for more decks next time. Victory? 2v2, you're so strong! We lost last time, so I was very upset. But we practiced hard based on that loss, so it resulted in a win. So you 3 Lava Hounds in a row. It's a winning card for us, so we had to use it. You made it. You completely finished this round. I'm so glad. I've only been playing 2v2, so playing 1v1, it's really glad that I was able to win this game. Playing 2v2 all the time, is it hard playing 1v1? But I have been practicing 1v1, so it's okay. It was 5 Gaming.
That was 5 Gaming picking out the win. Very nice for these guys, and here they are in contention trying to get that 3rd spot for Japan, trying to make it to the wild cards just barely, but they need every win to get there, and this win is definitely going to help them out.
It is possible still, as Ponos dropped one, so even more. Maybe they will be the second team
Oh, wow.
from Japan. That is still up in the air. If Ponos drop one more, Valve Gaming one more, they will tie. And I believe from head-to-head, they have a lot more chance, but still they were at the 7th place, but we have to see the updated standings. I wonder how it's going to be coming down.
We're going to get a better story when we see it in the graphs, and when we see it in graphics, we're going to find out how close Valve Gaming actually is in standings. But in the end, we're going to get the wins. 2 wins over to Japan, with GameWith and Valve Gaming getting the goods, and AHQ upsetting Pono Sports on that second match. And you can see the Taiwanese team doing so good for themselves as they pick up the win.
Yeah, for now, one thing is secure. GameWith, they will be in the finals as the first team from Japan, and the league as the only team with 8 wins. And so far, 8-2. None of the Korean teams hit that 8 in the number of wins. Kings and Dragon X, they were close. They were 7-4. We'll see how higher they can go all the way to 9. It is totally possible with the next match they have.
For what we got, GameWith is the best team in the best region, which makes them the best team in the tournament, and have understandably been so, because you see them making all the way to the final has been confirmed. And for now, Kings on Dragon X making the playoffs, and Sandbox to wildcard, Pono Sports to wildcard, and OG Entus to wildcard. So maybe our graphics are telling us that maybe Pono Sports are already secured in that second place.
As they're going to the wildcard though, not the final, so not really too happy after the first win from GameWith. They were lost nowhere, their only option. But still, having 3 wildcards, that means we still have to find the first place from Southeast Asia, as well as the final wildcard team.
So nothing's decided for Southeast Asia quite yet, because even AHQ winning out does not secure their finalist spot to the wildcard, obviously. But it's difficult to tell, because I think Brent Esports still well on the chase here, and getting the win now is going to be good for them for the time being. But Valve Gaming at 5 wins and 5 losses, even with multiple wins from now on, it's probably not going to secure them in the second place spot, but a 3rd place spot has definitely opened up.
Yeah, if you even if they tie in the match score, because of the head-to-head and the tiebreak rules, I think they did all the math already, the production. So just having that secured, only having 2 spots left for the postseason. You do see a lot of these teams 6, 8. Is this still possible for Brand Esports? But no, because they lost today.
And there's a little bit of wrong indication that Destination Gaming is a Japanese team, it's not the Southeast Asian team. So AHQ is in that front page, the only Southeast Asian team in the front page. And in the back page, you get the 3 Southeast Asian teams, see if you can pull through. But we get the next matchup for tomorrow's game. I think Simon will be back for tomorrow. Glad to have him back.
Yes, we'll be back in 12 hours, exactly. Get ourselves ready. And of course, in 14 hours, we will be live. But Chaos, starting with Chaos Theory Destination Gaming, who did not play today, as we only have the 3 games, 4 teams from each region. So you have to have these teams playing in HQ. Again, can they bring it for themselves and securing their spot in first place? Southeast Asia, totally possible, but they're going up against GameWith, the strongest team in the entire league right now.
But GameWith, they have very little to play for, because no matter what happens in this game, the number's going to look less prettier, but even if they lose, they're still not going to be changed into the fact that they're still going to be going to the final spot, just waiting for whoever their challenger is, and just to wait to really see them out.
In terms of the desperation level, of course AHQ, they will be maximum about 300%. When GameWith, they can have a casual game, maybe some experimental decks as well, just looking towards the future. That is totally possible, but AHQ, they have to put down everything they have to if they fail tomorrow, they may never get the chance again.
But I think we're going to be ending it for the night here, and we're going to be joining you guys back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Korean Standard Time, for tomorrow's action. We're going to continue Japan versus Southeast Asia. We'll see you then.